United States Armed Forces and local first responders. Please remain standing and kindly remove your caps as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Performing the anthem today is the legendary singer for the six-time Grammy-nominated heavy metal band Anthrax. Please welcome Joey Belladonna.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave?
Fuck yeah.
The United States Army.
Yeah, so a little bit different start to the show, but I thought we needed to hear that because, man, Joey nailed that shit, in my opinion, dude. That's fucking awesome.
You know what that just goes to show you? Two things is that metal can go with football. So all of us having to have hip hop artists and shit perform at football games all the time, you don't need that. And two, you don't need to church up the goddamn national anthem every time you sing it. Sing the song, sing it right, get off.
Yeah, I mean, he could have meddled that up if he wanted to.
Oh, he could have. He didn't add all those. He held a couple of the notes.
Yeah, he did.
But he didn't add all those extra crap and all that shit. Right. He sang the song, he hit the notes, got off the field.
Yeah, great job, man.
Oh, he did a hell of a job.
I thought it was pretty awesome. So,
he did a great job.
Wanted to make sure I shared that.
Hell yeah. And with that, we open the Metalheads Unite podcast for November 3rd. Welcome, one and all.
Yeah.
We had to do a little bit something that they call in hockey they call shifting on the fly a little bit. We as you may or may not know, we were supposed to have a guest tomorrow morning, so we weren't going to do this thing Friday night, but as will happen sometimes, life gets in the way, things happen, so we do still have our guest. We do still have them planned. We just had to bump it back a week. So instead of November 4th at 9 a.m., our special guest and Eradicated will be here just 7 days from now, same time, same channel, Saturday, November 11th at 9 a.m. Central Time here in the United States. So yeah, we kind of had to, hey, Dana, good evening, sir. Amy, he did better than Flavor Flav. Well, I mean, I was gonna say I probably could have done better than Flavor Flav, but probably not. But still,
what's bad about her saying it is like Flavor Flav did better than a lot of them I've seen. So.
That is also true. But so yeah, we I don't know about Jason, but I know that when he sent me the text yesterday and said that the guest postponed by a week, I had no nothing done. I had nothing done.
Me either. So
Of course, we hadn't talked about a theme of the week because we did Halloween's last week for Halloween, and so he sent me a text. Was it last night? Last night he sees like theme of the week is blank, and I'm not going to spoil it so soon. We're like, okay, fine. I didn't have any hit in the road done. I didn't have any stories, so I basically had to scramble.
yeah, it was
So-
but I mean, we got it
oh, we
together. So
oh yeah, we got a great show for you guys. But yeah, it was
we're
it's not
professionals here, damn it.
yeah. I mean, we're getting to the point where we pretty much got it down.
Except when it comes to playing one of the last songs, then we're
Yes. Yeah. When it comes to exclusive world premieres, we're still kind of rookies at
I was
that.
working that. Yeah.
But, so still, hey,
Apologies to John.
yeah, still feel very privileged that John let us do that. So hopefully it won't.
And he was very
Oh yeah, he took it in stride. He was very cool about it. So
was kind of joking about it. So.
yeah. So. Oh, John's a very laid back dude. So he was along for the ride with us, which was nice of him. So yeah, but we pulled it all together in 24 hours. We got a whole week's worth of news and concert announcements, I should say, and we got
Actually,
our theme of the week.
The playlist theme was your idea like a week or so ago. So.
Well, yeah, true, but I mean, I still didn't have it. I still didn't have it started. So when you suggested,
I wasn't nowhere near my paper, and I'm just like, hey, he said something about this. Let's do that.
yeah, so that was totally fine. Of course, the funny thing is like I say, I'm not going to spoil anything because we're not to that part of the show yet. But as soon as you said it, I was like, I already know what half of his list is going to be, so I know the songs to avoid already. So
I avoided about 3 or 4 because I figure you may have it too. So we'll see when it comes.
We'll see when we get when we get there. But
we'll definitely add what we thought we were going to.
Yeah. It's gonna be another good list because I mean I didn't go nearly as long as I did like last week.
Yeah, 13.
Like I ended up with 13 too. But if you guys don't know, like last week we did one for Halloween 2, and then the week before that I can't remember. Oh, when we did ups and downs, the last 2 weeks, the playlists have been over 4 hours long.
Yeah.
So I kind of purposely reserved myself this go around. Like I said, I've got 13. Jason's got 13. I'm sure we have a couple overlaps. So it'll probably be right around the normal 20 song playlist that we usually try to put up. But then again, there may be some that get added after the show, after the fact. If I think of one or I see one, I kind of add it as it goes. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, because like we just did Halloween 2. We did one like it was early when we started doing this. We did one just strictly about heavy metal because duh. And I want to do a heavy metal part 2 at some point. So there's been more songs that I've discovered or have come out, obviously, in the time from then to now. So instead of adding it to the back end of the one we already did, I've been like, I'm going to save these for the next time. So sometimes I'll add them to a playlist we've already done. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I save them because like we may want to do this again down the road because, when we first started doing this, if you guys have been around the show for a long time, initially it was the top 10. So all we did was 10. And then 10 became 12, became 15. And then at one point we're like, let's just do a theme.
Name it theme of the week. So.
Right. So we just named it the theme of the week instead of the top 10. Cause I mean, some of them it was too hard to just do 10. So like I say, 10 became 12, became 15. It was like, fuck it. Let's just do theme of the week. And if we get 20 or 25 or like in the case of the Halloween, this go around, I had 30 just myself. So like I said, that Halloween 2 is over 4 hours.
How many songs?
And then Victor added some too because I sent it to him and Victor added some too. I think at last check the Halloween 2 playlist was at 69 songs.
It says 67.
67. Okay, I knew it was in the 60s somewhere. So it's
4 hours. 4 hours and 53 minutes.
Yeah, see there, you're almost 5 hours. Yeah. And then the ups and downs one is like 4 hours and 10 minutes or something like that. So
yeah, Victor laid about 12 out there himself.
Yeah, he did. So
15. Oh wow. he did about 15 of them. So yeah.
Yeah, so Victor actually helped us out with the Halloween one, but even before Victor added his, between you and I, we still had 4 hours. It was like 4 hours and 5 minutes or something like that, and then Victor added his and bumped it up to almost five when everything was all said and done. So
You know what I love about this, and like, you know, I love about doing those playlists is like I don't get it like right off sometimes because I don't really like I'm not really like into paying attention to like when you not saying I don't listen to you put your stuff, but I'm saying I'm not paying attention to the linkage. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Until I actually listened to it and was like, wait a minute, because like
Mhm.
I ain't gonna lie, I was like, there was a let me see, is it on this one? Because I listened to both playlists this week. So yeah. So you added Youth Gone Wild, and I'm just like, wait, what the fuck does that have to do with Halloween? It took me a minute. I was just like, oh yeah, trick or treat, gotcha.
Yeah.
I was like, also because like sometimes I do that. I'm just like, wait a minute, and I love that because it makes me think. You know,
Yeah, I do that I do that sometimes too when I'm listening to, because like, obviously you know the songs that you already added, but like when I'm listening to one and I come across one of your songs and I'm thinking like, what the hell does this song have to do with? And then I realize, oh shit, he went with the band name here, or he went with the
right?
album name here. So sometimes I catch myself doing that. I'm like, because I'll know the title of the song right away. It's like, this has nothing to, oh shit, band name. Okay, yeah. So so
Uh,
I've caught myself doing that plenty of times.
yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and share that since I got it pulled up. So because I know we got to do a couple here. So
Yeah. The Halloween one, that turned out really, really well.
that is our Halloween playlist there. If you guys want to check that over on Spotify, or you can just look up Metalheads Unite and see the Halloween 2 there. So,
Yes, you can. Truth be told, I actually, and it's not because of the amount of songs, but I actually think I liked this Halloween playlist better than the first one that we did.
yeah, I think the first one was more of. I don't think we thought. I don't think we were thinking that much outside the box on the first one.
Yeah.
We kind of did like Alice Cooper, Man Behind the Mask, and Jason, and
Mm-hmm.
we kind of stuck with stuff that was themed around the movies,
Right.
and we didn't really go off of that too. I mean, there was a few. Don't get me wrong, but we didn't
Yeah.
go. We went way off of it on this one. And of course, any Halloween, you could probably put a whole album of Lights Not Kills on there, and it'd be just
Yeah, but I mean, between Einstein Kills and Rob Zombie, I mean, they've pretty much got Halloween covered. So
nights. I mean, you got a few of those. You could probably do 3 or 4 bands and have a 50 song playlist.
right.
But you don't want to hear the same.
Well, yeah.
I mean, you might, but we try to shake it up a little.
Yeah, we do. We try to add as much variety as we possibly can. So
I don't know if you let me see. So I got this in the mail finally.
oh, nice.
So
Hell yeah, dude.
it was bad as I ordered this before the show. So the show got canceled, and I was like, well, fuck. I don't know. Like the poster's still on its way, so I guess I'm just going to keep the damn poster. So,
Yeah.
I mean, what else can you do?
I mean, I would. Yeah, so absolutely. It's still a badass poster.
Yeah, I do like the poster. I got to where I like those a lot. I got that Trivium and Beartooth too.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool, and that show was really awesome. And believe it or not, Malevolence was the best part of that show. So, so if
Really?
you're not familiar with Malevolence, then get
Oh
familiar.
yeah. Oh yeah, they were my album. They were my album of the year last year.
That's right. Yeah, so, yeah, good shit.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Halloween in Heaven. That's right, Dana.
little show and tell. So,
Nothing wrong with that.
I guess we can kick off. I only did the birthday list for this week because I was sharing stuff on there, and
Yeah.
you've already did the the TikTok video for birthdays from last week anyway. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I
So-
did. So
no sense of me repeating those. So.
Yeah.
So from October 28th to November 3rd, and that's not a very long list this time. So not that I have anyway, unless I miss something. So just keep an ear out, I guess.
Yep.
October 28th, we had John Regan. He was a session and touring bassist for Freely's Comet. He unfortunately passed away earlier this year. Then we had, I also mentioned that in case you didn't have that in the in memoriam. So
I think I do actually. John
didn't know, so, but-
John Regan. Yep. April 7th. Yep, I do have it.
Yeah, awesome. Then we had Desmond Child. Of course, he was a songwriter for Bon Jovi and Aerosmith, and a producer back in the '80s era. There, probably at Bon Jovi and Aerosmith's height, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So very talented songwriter too. And then we had Dave Windorf, vocalist for Monster Magnet. October 29th, we had Kevin DeBrouse, of course, vocalist for Quiet Riot. And unfortunately, he passed away in 2007. I didn't realize he'd been gone that long until I read this. Wow.
Yeah.
Crazy. Then we had Stephen Sweet, drummer for Warrant. The only Sweet, most, I think if you're a Sweet, you almost have to be a drummer. Michael just got left out of that talent, I guess, but I guess he did all right.
Yeah, he's got a talent all of his own though, so he ended up making out all right.
We got, and I'm going to kill her name, and I apologize, but it's Aprika Amaral. Amaral. I don't know how they pronounce the A's there, but of course, they're guitarist and vocalist for Nervosa. October 30th, we had Chris Slade, drummer for AC/DC. October 31st, Halloween, we had Mickey D. Of course, why not have a Motorhead person on Halloween, right? Drummer for Motorhead and the Scorpions. Then we had Mitch Harris, a guitarist for Napalm Death. Well, hell, that made it even be better.
Mm-hmm.
November 1st, we had Rick Allen, drummer for Def Leppard. And then November 2nd, we had Bobby Dahl, bassist for Poison. And then Fieldy, bassist for Korn. So took me a minute to figure out because they had his real name in there. And I'm like, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is Reginald? I was like, oh, that's Fieldy. Okay, gotcha. But it's pretty funny. And then, of course, today, November 3rd, we had Mick Thompson, guitarist for Slipknot, and then Tim McElroth, guitarist for Rise Against. So that is all that I had. We did have a couple of birthdays in the group this week, so we'll give those guys a shout out too. So happy birthday. Well, maybe it was just the one. Maybe it was just Thomas. So, anyway,
I think it was just Thomas.
So shout out to as well. So, happy birthday to those. How about
Yeah, looks like we might be getting some spam on Twitch, but
what's new?
Yeah.
How about no?
Yeah.
That's what God's slave said. How about no?
Yeah. All right, so we'll move on into our current events for this week, and we'll start off with a little bit of not late breaking news, but we'll give a shout out to Dana for this one because he pointed us both to this. But I was at work when it happened, and Jason, before we came on here, you said you were out. So thank you to Dana for this one. I'm going to start over at loudwire.com. A Norwegian Cruise Line spokesperson has issued a statement confirming that a man attending the Headbangers Boat Festival cruise headlined by Lamb of God went overboard this morning. Search and rescue efforts were conducted, and it has been verified by Loudwire that the festival activities have since resumed and the boat is headed back to Miami. Quote, on the early morning of Friday, November 3rd, 2023, Norwegian Pearl was notified that a 41-year-old male guest went overboard while the ship was sailing near the Bahamas on its way to Miami. The authorities have been notified, and the U.S. Coast Guard's search and rescue operation is underway. The investigation is ongoing, and we will share updates as appropriate. Our thoughts and prayers are with his loved ones during this difficult time, end quote, the Norwegian Cruise Line spokesperson told Rock Feed this afternoon. The festival cruise, which also features Mastodon, Testament, Hatebreed, Guar, Municipal Waste, Shadows Fall, God Forbid, Lacuna Coil, and more, has continued with scheduled performances after the above statement was provided. The first artist to perform is Hatebreed, and it's reported that frontman Jamie Josta tried to remain positive and create a sense of community and togetherness for festival goers on board. Fans on board have lamented the tragedy, which can be seen below. And then there's some tweets, or are they still called tweets? I guess I don't know. Messages on X, I don't know, are embedded in the story here. So just a heads up to my community. Taylor and I are safe. I wish people would proofread shit before they post it. I hurts to say this, but we received an alert from the bridge last night that a man has gone overboard. We are currently stationary in between Cuba and the Bahamas on Headbangers Boat, Norwegian Pearl. The Norwegian Pearl crew and sixth man have been amazing, not to mention the other passengers looking out for each other. My heart is with his family. So, you know, people are, sharing their thoughts and all that good stuff. So, uh, so any updates come across on whether they find him, whether they don't, whether they find him alive, whether they don't. So, um, we'll pass any updates along to you guys in the Facebook group. So there you go. So Amy, I think I'm just gonna keep calling them tweets. So I mean, I don't know. I don't even know. That's what I've been calling them. I guess that's just what they're gonna be in perpetuity. Not to speculate though, alcohol may have been involved.
Well, I mean, yeah, it's kind of you're on the board of oh, them a god. You know, obviously, you're going to be.
Yeah. Like I say, I have no idea, but I mean, if we were to find out that he had a few too many to drink and went over the side, I wouldn't be surprised, to be honest with you. So,
Okay. I'm sorry, I was trying to get into this Twitch and take care of
oh, you're trying to get that spam message out of there.
this.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, you can. I mean, anybody watching on Twitch is gonna see it, but not that big a deal.
It
As
is
long,
what it is.
as long as it just doesn't become a habit, like we keep getting spammed with it over and over again, and then we may have to definitely do something about that.
Well, I mean, I'll get in there and take it out whenever
Yeah.
this is over, so I can still see and update this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all right. My first story is over from Loudwire. Fans of Motley Crue co-founder Mick Mars, I don't know why it says co-founder, but okay, may wonder why the songs he recorded circa 2016 with one-time Motley Crue singer John Corabi don't appear on the track list for Mars's first post-Crue solo album, 2024's The Other Side of Mars. Pretty sure he was brought into the band after it was already. Well, I guess because of the name, maybe. I think he may have had something to do with that, but
Mm-hmm.
I think he actually had something to do with the name. So maybe that's why I said that. Anyway, Mars announced the solo effort on Wednesday, November 1st, with its first single, Loyal to the Light. If you hadn't heard that, it's pretty better than some of the latest Motley Crue shit I've heard. So, well, it turns out that Mars had a reason for shoving those songs with Corabi, even though the guitarist had teased two Corabi assisted solo songs, Give Me Blood and Shake the Cage, were the titles around 7 years ago when he started woodshedding solo material several years before his 2022 retirement from Motley Crue. Quote, I felt the songs were just a little not strong enough, end quote. Mars admits to the rock radio host Eddie Trunk of the Corabi sung tunes in October 31st interview, as Blabbermouth reported. He continues, quote, there is a certain person that kind of interfered with that. I'm not going to say his name, but he kind of like messed up some things. The songs were wrong, parts in there that shouldn't be there, and blah 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 blah. It isn't a long story, but it was kind of like, yeah, this ain't gonna fly, so I shelved it. End quote. Pressed to identify who interfered, Mars only offers that he was kind of duped. That's all I have to say by a third party, and that's it. That's all. I got rid of him, and we went and searched for other people. So pre-orders for The Other Side of Mars are now available. Configurations include a 180-gram 12-inch album or CD, signed or unsigned. The Other Side of Mars is being released through Mars' own label, 1313 LLC, in partnership with MRI. 2 weeks ago, Mars launched a countdown anticipating it. So, there you go. So if you want to go over to his website, you can get the autograph copy of that, I believe. So cool.
Nice. Very nice.
Very nice.
All right.
Alrighty.
I'm going to move over to Metal Sucks for a minute. Now, we talked about, a couple weeks ago, we talked about the issue that happened at the We Came as Romans show a couple weeks ago on October 22nd, where they decided to go at where We Came as Romans as headliners. They decided to cancel the show like midway through because of some issues with security. Well, wouldn't you know it, as luck would have it, the venue decided to offer their side of the story. So
Sure.
here we go. None of us should be any stranger to how aggressive things can get at a hardcore show, but what happens when security gets too aggressive back? Apparently, that very issue happened at a We Came as Romans show during Body Snatcher's set. The show took place on October 22nd at Fite Music Hall in Providence, Rhode Island. I hope I said that right. We Came as Romans stated that folks were wrongfully and aggressively, quote unquote, removed during Body Snatcher as witnessed by folks who were on tour with the band. Quote, the security team did not respond well, and the situation escalated further, even to the point of spitting in our crew's faces, spitting on gear, threatening physical violence, and someone having to be physically restrained, end quote. Yikes. Of course, Fite Music Hall issued their own statement in response, claiming something very different went down. They say a fan had received multiple warnings throughout the show and was eventually thrown out. They also claim that those who witnessed the event hadn't seen the earlier behavior and thus didn't know the full story. Quote, many of you have read and or commented on events that took place at Fite Music Hall on Sunday, October 22nd, 2023, the venue statement reads. We do not feel that what has been presented is a fair representation of the event of that evening as a whole. We first want to start by apologizing to patrons who spent their hard-earned money on tickets to what should have been a fun night of catching their favorite bands. We are sorry that your night was cut short. The safety of our patrons is vitally important to us. We sincerely apologize to anyone who may have felt unsafe. We are sad, upset, and embarrassed by the way that this show was cut short. Additionally, we apologize to the dozens of talented professional members of our venue staff who take pride in their work ethic and their contributions to the live music and arts communities and do not deserve the violent threats and negative attention being directed at them over the past several days. As venue operators, we want to address many of the concerns and accusations that we have spent the last few days both reading and listening to. On Sunday, members of our staff, a representative from our co-promoter, and the tour manager had a routine security meeting addressing the game plan for the night. The club was staffed by 10 security personnel, a more than adequate number for the size of the crowd anticipated. 3 at the main entrance, 1 backstage, 3 behind the barricade, and 3 floaters roaming the ballroom floor. We were informed that moshing was to be expected / anticipated in a show like this, not unlike many other shows of the same nature that have been at Fite. It was decided that security would first handle incidents with a focus on de-escalation and warning patrons rather than removing an unruly patron from the venue. This is the manner in which Fite Security has handled matters such as this many times in the past safely and without incident. Fite Security is well trained in how to address situations as were anticipated on October 22nd. Through the first half of the show, things ran smoothly and no one was removed from the venue for moshing. Patrons were enjoying the music, dancing, and having a good time. Our security had issued multiple warnings to one patron who had been involved in multiple altercations with other concert goers. Unfortunately, during Body Snatcher's set, the patron who had received multiple warnings became involved in another altercation with other attendees. At this point, due to the several warnings this individual had received, 5 warnings, Fite Security determined that this patron needed to be removed from the venue and became involved. Rather than allow Fite Security to do its job, it was at this moment that several members of the touring party then inserted themselves into the situation without what we believe to be the appropriate context as to what was taking place and why. A member of the touring party then whispered something into the band's ear, and Body Snatcher then decided to end their set and yelled, "Fuck security, we are done here," into the microphone as they walked off stage, further angering the crowd and directing their anger towards Fite's security, placing members of our security in an unsafe position. Members of our security and members of the touring party became involved in a heated argument. A few minutes later, Fite was advised that We Came as Romans and Imur were not going to go on stage, and the show was effectively over. We are deeply sorry that the events of Sunday escalated to a point where the bands and crew no longer felt comfortable performing. Fite Music Hall has been open for 12 years, hosting literally thousands of shows and catering to every genre of music imaginable, and our track record speaks volumes. We do hope that this statement eases the concerns of those who have been reading other postings. Fite is and will remain a safe and inclusive venue for all its patrons, artists, and staff. We have been thoroughly investigating any and all accusations and concerns relating to Sunday's show and will continue to do so. If you have any questions, concerns, or footage that may be relevant to our efforts, we encourage you to contact us directly at info@fitemusic.com, end quote. Of course, if a fan really was getting aggressive and starting fights, it's beyond reasonable to kick said person out. But this was a hardcore show, and it's also entirely possible that the venue misconstrued an eager fan moshing and crowd killing as someone actually trying to start fights. We'll know more as the situation unfolds, but for now, it's clear that there are some really disappointed fans out there who missed a good show. So it's just going to be another one of those situations where, three truths. Theirs, and the actual truth is right there somewhere in the middle. So
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the funny thing though is, when it comes to, I'm not like picking sides at all because I have no idea what happened, but I can, and we've talked about it before when these venues are like and we've brought up the show at the Signal in Chattanooga. I don't know how many times they put up a sign that says no moshing, and yet we're gonna book 3 thrash bands and expect there to really not be any moshing. So you got to read the room, but at some point, I get where Fite Music Hall is coming from. I mean, they do have, I don't know what the ratio is. It's probably, maybe a 5-to-1 ratio of concert goers to the amount of security people, if not more. So, I mean, they got to look out for everybody, them, the band, the rest of the concert goers. So, I mean, it's tough. It's tough. And in the heat of the moment, they got to be like, all right, look, we got to get rid of this one dude so everyone else can be safe. So, you know, it's a tough situation because I mean they have the venue has the liability issue, and then the bands are like, hey, we want to go on, we want to put on the best show, we want everybody to have fun and blow off steam and this, that, and the other thing. They don't want anybody to get hurt. So I mean, there's a lot of variables that go into it, but at the end of the day, man, I mean,
I mean, we
you
got
have
the.
you have
I went the one they canceled because of not enough security. So
yeah, so everyone should be able to go to a show, have a good time, be safe, so they can all go home. That includes the employees, the concert goers, everybody, everyone.
yeah,
So at the same time, we're all, I mean, some kids do go to shows, but I mean, 99.8% of the people that go to shows, and you and I, we've been to so many shows together. So we do see kids, but at the same time, we're adults. We have to act like it, even though we're trying to have fun. I don't know if this particular person was just being a dick or if he was just a drunk asshole in the mosh pit. Who knows what was going on? Because we weren't there. We don't know. All we know is what they said, and all we know what the venue said. But at some point, I mean, if they really gave that dude 5 warnings, that was probably at least 3 too many.
exactly. Yeah.
So
After that second one, they should have threw his ass out.
right. So I mean, you can't say they didn't give this guy a chance.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, knock it off. Knock it off. Okay, you're done. So I mean, if you got 5 knock it offs, then you got more than you should have. So
I wonder how many he would have got at a Megadeth show. He probably would have been out at the first one.
Yeah, 1.
Yeah, you'd been like, get this motherfucker out of here.
Yeah, probably 1.
Or I mean, I've seen Alvin Moody do that too. So
Yeah.
I've seen call out some dude for like doing something like he was a big guy too, and I think he was like tossing some like person like when they come by to surf him, he tossed them.
Yeah,
pushing them, and fucking Ivan went the fuck off. He's
you're
like,
just supposed to guide him towards the front.
You realize you just threw her like 3 people in front of you, dude. That's not cool. Like,
yeah.
And he's just like, oh, and Ivan says, don't act like you know what I'm talking to you, motherfucker. That's pretty cool. They did, they kicked you. And like I said, those people shouldn't get 5 chances. That's kind of
no. Yeah, I mean, have fun, but act like a damn adult. I mean, come on.
Right. Yeah.
Dana says the boss is here. That would be Krista.
Yes.
Good evening, Krista. Good evening.
Actually reminded me I have to do some stuff.
Me too.
I'm glad they're both in here. One, I want to say, since Dana is in here, and I know he's on the road and may get busy, but we will be live at his birthday bash, and he has asked me to do some. Hey, there she is, Krista.
Hey, there's Krista.
But he has asked me to come up and say some words for his birthday and introduce some of the bands, and I told him yes, I'm cool with that. So.
Ooh, I'll say words. So I know words.
No.
Me use word. But yeah, so we will, since we're talking about it, we will be that will actually be a Saturday also. So we'll remind you guys between now and then. But so next week on the 11th we will have a guest, and then that next Saturday we will be live from Dana's 50th birthday bash.
Oh, that's right. It is the following week.
That's right. Yeah. So after this week, we'll actually be on the next 2 Saturdays. So
Yeah. So my dumbass don't need to set up interviews for the day before, right? So,
so clear your calendars.
yeah.
Well, at least your Saturdays. Yeah.
All right. The playlist that's up now was the playlist from last week's new releases. So I'll leave that up for a minute.
Nice.
When we get into our theme of the week, I'll post the update.
That'll work.
All right. I'm still going to stay over at Loudwire. This one's kind of interesting. So that's right. There is a official Cannibal Corpse coloring book, and it even comes with a parental advisory warning, meaning it is also not safe for work.
Mhm.
It has been banned in Germany already. Imagine that.
Which is ironic that of all places it would be banned in Germany.
Yeah, right. Some of the history there, but we won't go there.
Right.
But the vivid, graphic, and controversial imagery propagated by the death metal legends and conspiracy with longtime visual artist Vince Locke are now yours to bring to life, or back from the dead, or undead, or whatever. Because colorize as you please. Going over art for the book, it was surprising to see how much 30 years of collaboration yielded Locke assesses via Metal Hammer, which is crazy. Usually you don't see Loudwire or any of them using Metal Hammer stuff, but there you go. It's rare that I see it all compiled together. There are a few pieces that had to be included, some that were favorites of myself with the band, and some that just lent themselves well to the coloring. Encouraging fans to take their own liberties with these historic pieces of violent art. Like continues, I'm always trying different materials and techniques. I hope you do the same with when you're coloring the pages. Try watercolor markers, crayons, and colored pencils. Add your own detail. You'll probably go through a lot of red, but
Reds and pinks, yeah.
but still be creative, have fun, and make it your own. The new coloring books come courtesy of Eyesore Merch, the same publisher that produced similar ones featuring the artwork of Iron Maiden, Judas Priest, Megadeth, and more. You can actually pre-order your copy over at eyesoremerch.com. This product is not available for sale in Germany. Any orders to German addresses will be refunded. We apologize for any inconvenience caused, but this release is subject to German law and regulations, notes the product description. Until the restriction was lifted in 2006, Cannibal Corpse were legally forbidden from selling their first 3 albums there, Eaten Back to Life, Butchered by Birth, Tomb of the Mutilated in Germany, as well as from performing any songs from those records live due to the imagery and lyrics. so that's pretty wild.
Which is ironic to me for all the stuff that Rammstein's able to get away with.
Well, that is true, yeah. So, but I guess you have to be native to get away with those things. I don't know.
Maybe. Yeah, I don't know. That seems strange. That seems kind of hypocritical of the Germans, but what do I know?
That's on them. I mean, that's kind of it's ironic and stupid at the same time.
Mm-hmm. I would say.
I think it's one of those things where you kind of have to be like, "Hey, buy at your own risk." It's kind of like when they put parental labels on CDs back in the day. It's letting you know, "Hey, there's stuff on here you probably shouldn't hear." So,
right. Yeah, I mean especially here in the United States, that's what that PMRC they wanted.
Right.
So I don't know. Obviously, apparently the Germans have their own kind of legislation board that they use for all that stuff. So I mean, I guess they've got their own version, but that's the thing is that was the whole point behind it, was to let everybody know that the content was questionable, but at the same time, if you got that warning label, leave the people who want to experience the art, let them experience it. That's the whole point behind it. You wanted the warning label, you got the warning label.
So I wonder if Carla Harvey from the Butcher Babies was able to sell hers there, because that would be interesting. Because hers
I don't know.
Hers was a little risque too. So
no, she would never.
Yeah. Bite marks on a naked, chick, and hearts and hands, and all.
Yeah,
that's probably just as bad as some of the stuff Cannibal Corpse would show you. So
probably, yeah, probably. I don't know.
Well, if
It does. It just
I
seems,
guess because it's a nude girl, it's
which again seems hypocritical. So
well, a lot of things are hypocritical, but we won't go there.
yeah. All right, going over to Blabbermouth for the next one here. This is something we brought up initially. I think it was back in July, according to the story. But anyway, this is a little bit of a follow up here. Legendary extreme metal drummer Nick Barker, who has been battling kidney failure for the last few months, offered an update on his health in a new interview with Royalty Free Radio. He said, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, quote, "I'm feeling great. I've got dialysis treatments first thing in the morning. I get picked up at 6. I'm plugged in by 7. I'm back home for around lunchtime. So yeah, I'm doing okay. Treatment has its ups and downs. Sometimes it can wipe you out physically. You feel completely drained, and other times you feel great. It's a bit of a roller coaster, but I'm doing great. I'm keeping positive. I'm working towards getting a transplant as soon as possible. I'm really working on getting my health back on track, and I hope to be back behind the drum kit and touring the world again very soon. And I'm going to come back with a bang," end quote. A GoFundMe campaign was launched by Nick's friends in July to help pay for his medical bills and living expenses while undergoing his dialysis. And that was back when we first reported the story. And let's see, an update on said GoFundMe: 61,236 pounds raised of a 100,000 pound goal. So more than halfway there. Not too bad. So here's hoping that Nick can get his transplant so he can be back healthy and happy and back doing what he loves again sooner than later. So a little bit of an update there for you guys.
Most of it. Uh-oh. Lost it. I was wanting to share and I lost it. Anyway, I can get the gist of it without the content, I guess. Wanted to give a shout out before I get too far ahead and forget. Shout out to the guitarist for Contortion, John. He got married this past week, so
Yeah,
rest, So we want to make sure we mention those, mention our friends over at Contortion. So,
absolutely.
and then also just want to give a shout out and wish a speedy recovery to Hex. They had to cancel a show due to some illness in the band. So
Yep.
that's a shout out, some love there. So oh, trying to share because I for some reason it doesn't share to the group. It only goes to our page, so I always forget to share it to the actual group. So
Right.
do that real quick. We've already gotten
It took me a while to remember to do that with the Metalhead Minute because I was always posting it to the group and I forgot to post it to the page and I was like, shit, I got to do both. So yeah.
It took me a while.
all right, we'll talk about other stuff a little bit. So, all right, so more merch here to talk about. Skateboard giant DC Shoes have teamed up with thrash icon Slayer to launch a new range of footwear and apparel just in time for Halloween. The range includes several pairs of skate shoes, long-sleeve shirts, hats, t-shirts, and more, with DC Shoes paying tribute to Slayer by saying their music has energized not only music enthusiasts, but also the skateboarding community from day one. And also, along with the whole heap of apparel, there's also more to come, including a pair of high tops and a Slayer football jersey. Global head of marketing DC Shoes, Michael Minter, adds Slayer, quote, Slayer's music and skateboarding have always shared a common spirit of rebellion and a drive to challenge the status quo. This collaboration is a celebration of that shared ethos, and we're thrilled to merge Slayer's iconic legacy with DC Shoes' innovative designs. Quote, check out the range on the official DC Shoes website. And Amazon is also stocking a number of the products as well. And I actually looked at some of them. It's pretty cool stuff. My wife's already said, "Hey, would you wear Slayer shoes?" Well, hell yeah.
Well, anything cool becomes cooler when you put Slayer on it. So I mean,
Right. I said only if one side of the shoe says fucking and the other side.
that's right. Fucking Slayer.
Yeah. Fuck on Slayer.
That's right. Yeah. It's got to be. Yeah.
But I don't think it said that.
It probably doesn't. Because of the churns, probably.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, I get it. That makes sense. But, yeah. All right, this one I'm going back over to Metal Sucks for this next one. This one was pretty funny. Over the weekend, a weird scene made the rounds on metal news outlets that showed a bunch of nerds sitting down for a game of Richard Garfield's seminal card game Magic the Gathering during the Frozen Souls show this past Saturday. It's an odd sight and further cements my hypothesis. Of course, this is coming from the author. Cements my hypothesis that every single metalhead on the planet is a nerd. Yeah, it's not so far-fetched. Doesn't matter if they're into Lord of the Rings, guitar tech, or now a 30-year-old card game. Yet what took place during the second Wrecking Ball Metal Madness show at the Echo Lounge and Music Hall in Dallas, Texas, wasn't as entirely impromptu as initial reports made it seem. According to the band's official Twitter account, someone flashed their Magic deck at the band during their set, which prompted vocalist Chad Green, I'm assuming that's who's running their Twitter profile, to get someone else to play that person in the pit during their set. Apparently, the game lasts about 3 or 4 songs, but honestly, there are more questions here than answers. Did the other player have their own deck, or did the person that caught the band's attention bring 2? If it's the latter, then how did the other player deal with the fact that their opponent knew what both decks were capable of, which everyone knows is a clear advantage in both standard and commander formats? What were they using as life counters? I don't know what any of that even means. I have no idea. And then the last line in the story in all caps said, "Nerdy metalheads need to know." And then there's a I'm going to share this real quick. There is an embedded. Let's see. There is an embedded video to this. So let's see. There we go. Yeah, there it is. All right. Well, I didn't know I had to go to another fucking. Okay, here we go. I don't know where the music is, but it's on.
I don't even see it playing. So. I don't even see it doing that. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, people are playing Magic the Gathering in.
It never did anything. So.
Oh, did it not?
No, it stayed. It was paused the whole time. So.
Oh shit. Okay, well, if you want to see it, it is making the rounds. So.
And then I thought I seen something in there too because I was looking at that when you posted it, and it said something about some other band did like Twister in the mosh pit or something earlier in the year too or something.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm just wow, they're just out playing board games in the middle of the fucking
wouldn't surprise me.
And how times have changed.
I know.
We had to worry about getting hit with beer bottles when we were in. Yep. All right, before I get too far ahead of myself, there was something else I wanted to mention during the birthday stuff. I wanted to say happy 42 years to Metallica, which they formed October 28th, 1981. So there you go. Bet you can't guess. Everybody had shirts on but Dave.
Yeah. 47 years. Or that's nuts.
42.
42, not 47.
Yeah, that's still crazy. But.
It's still crazy, yeah. 42 years. Bonkers. Congratulations to them, though.
I got this other one pulled up for touch on toward the end here, but my next one is over from Blabbermouth. On Sunday, October 29th, Hard Rock Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee. One of the reasons I kind of put this was because it's local. Unveiled a permanent exhibit dedicated to honoring Salaba guitarist Wayne Sweeney. The event was graced with the presence of Wayne's loving family, devoted friends, and bandmates, creating an unforgettable moment of musical tribute and celebration of Wayne's life. Linda Sweeney Hansen, Wayne's sister, said Quote, wow, what can I say about this? A permanent display at Hard Rock Cafe in Nashville, Tennessee. Amazed, proud, honored are just a few words I can think of. I've always been so proud of you, your amazing talent and kindness towards everyone you've met. Now, everyone who sees your display will know you and understand what you mean to all of us who love and miss you very much. And this is the reason I didn't mention this in the birthday segment, but his birthday was 10/31 as well. So happy birthday to him. So, of course, according to this, that's what it said. Happy birthday and heaven.
Well, yeah, absolutely.
So I love you from his sister there. So the display is located at Hard Rock Cafe in Nashville, 100 Broadway, Nashville, Tennessee, 37201. I need to look that up to make sure. She said happy 60th birthday, so I'm guessing that was as October 31st would have been his 60th. So.
Yep. And in case you're ever in Nashville, if you find Broadway, you head all the way down to the river, look to your left, there's the Hard Rock Cafe. You literally can't miss it. It's easy to find.
Yeah.
You cannot miss it. It's easy to find.
I used to love going to the shows. Remember, they used to have the shows right there on the right down from there, and we used to go there and then go to Hard Rock and eat. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they stopped doing the shows there for some reason. I don't remember what the reason was.
Who knows? Probably the logistics with all the increased foot traffic and everything down there now, because it's gotten so insanely busy.
I imagine it was going to be something like the Green Day and Simpsons movie where they just going down.
Yeah. All right, going. Well, actually, I'm staying over at metalsucks.net. Sorry. Founder of both Southwest and Northwest Terror Fests, David Rogers was just diagnosed with an incurable form of multiple myeloma, and he's crowdfunding to be able to get some relief. His GoFundMe, which was started by his partner Mickey Rogers, was set up to help he and his family make through this. While the cancer isn't fully curable, it can be treated and sent into remission. He is looking to raise $50,000 to help with the bills. The GoFundMe page explains, quote, hello, my name is Mickey Rogers. I am setting up this GoFundMe on behalf of my partner, love of my life, and father to our dogs, David. I doubt he's the father to the dogs. That would be weird. We met and became friends in 2003, and by 2004, we were dating. We moved in with each other and got our first pup, Capone, shortly afterwards. We got married in 2006. We were young, full of life, and working hard together for each other. Our family moved to Washington State 9 years ago and got another pup, R2. In that time, we also started 1709 Records, a small independent record store in downtown Vancouver, Washington, where we love to interact with our wonderful customers and friends. David founded the amazing Southwest Terror Fest and Northwest Terror Fest with friends. These events were annual music festivals in Tucson and Seattle that brought together heavy music artists and fans from around the world. He also performed and recorded with his bands God Hunter and Tarna. David also ran Battleground Records, releasing many records for bands across the country. Our involvement in and around music allowed us to meet people and create so many long-lasting friendships and eternal bonds. This summer started out just like normal for us. We were hiking and kayaking and going to the shore so R2 could run wild. We had just celebrated David's birthday on our 17th wedding anniversary this year, and we were happy and healthy and life was good. In August, David started to have back issues. After severe back spasms and a sciatic nerve problem in his right leg, I can relate, we took him to urgent care where it was discovered with an x-ray that he had a severe compression fracture in his L4. The doctors said it was a pathological fracture, which means something in the bone or marrow caused it. We were sent to for further testing, MRI, CT, and PET scan, blood tests, and a bone marrow biopsy, and the doctors discovered cancerous lesions in his spine, sacrum, pelvis, and right femur. When his L4 was fixed with kyphoplasty, they biopsied the lesion in the L4 and confirmed that David has multiple myeloma cancer. At this time, this form of cancer is incurable. The cancer can only be treated with the goal of entering a remission state that will allow David to live longer. Without treatment, his life expectancy would be 2 years at most. The end of his life would be on a dialysis machine. We have decided to throw everything we have at this and fight it with chemotherapy and stem cell replacement therapy. Our doctors are hopeful that these treatments will push the cancer into a dormant state. The doctors believe that this will give David 9 years or more. We remain hopeful that this allows more time for a cure or better treatments to be developed. Doctors are seeing promising success in new and experimental treatments like CAR/T. What is that? CAR-T? I don't know what that is. We have never asked anyone for help before, but for the first time in our 20-plus year relationship, we really need help from our family and friends. We do have health insurance and savings, but we all know how fast cancer treatments will burn through your life savings. This fundraising campaign will directly help us with out of pocket expenses and copays, along with travel to and from medical offices, surgery, and treatment centers. Anything that you can give will help us immensely. If you are unable to financially support the fundraiser, simply sharing this page around the internet would be greatly appreciated. To everyone reading this, we love you very much and thank you for all your support in the past, present, and future. End quote. Our hearts go out to David and Mickey, and we're pulling for a successful fundraiser and even more successful remission from cancer. If you have any extra funds, considering helping out at the GoFundMe page, and that one is currently at $18,154 of $50,000, but it's only been up for 4 days, so that's actually a pretty decent start. So good luck to David and Mickey. So
Yeah, that sucks.
that's a tough one.
This last one that I have from here is over at Metal Sucks. Last week, the unthinkable happened when Dream Theater announced they were reuniting with founding member and drummer Mike Portnoy. It was a wild moment that, while super exciting for fans, meant that Portnoy's replacement for the last 13 years, Mike Mangini, was no longer in the band. While our initial reaction to the news was holy shit, we couldn't help but wonder how Mangini felt about the news. And while he's got his own solo shit coming out soon, it turns out that Mangini's taking the whole thing in stride. In fact, during an interview with the Mistress Carrie podcast, he's totally cool with how his tenure with Dream Theater came to an end. He said, quote, a decision was made that I understood that's all it is. Because when I heard the decision, I understood it. I tried to explain that I understood the parameters of that being a music thing. Anyway, it's as simple as that. And I'm telling you, I was like, okay, I get that. The situation made sense to me when I heard it in that. I don't know. I guess I just skipped out and thought, oh, that's an original band member going back to a band. Oh, I get that. Okay, I get it. And that's it. I mean, that is literally it. Peter said about 20 times, but okay.
Yeah. Apparently that was it. Yeah. So
that was it. The 60-year-old drummer said he looks back fondly on his time with the band, calling it an unbelievable experience. For those out of the loop, Dream Theater announced Portnoy was back in the band last Wednesday. In their statement, each member got to comment on the announcement. In every instance, each member praised Mangini's professionalism, including founding member and bassist John Young. I wish nothing but the best for Mike Mangini for all the blood, sweat, and tears he put into Dream Theater during his 13-year tenure with the band. So I think Mangini's talented enough. He don't think he's got too much to worry about. But the only sad thing is like 6 Mike Portnoy bands are going to be put on the back burner. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But that was very surprising when I heard that, because I mean, I know
I think like an anniversary of one of the albums that's coming up that they were all on, and I think that's why they're doing it.
Yeah, but I mean, for a while there, I mean, there was quite a bit of tension going on. So I mean, it's good to see that one of those time heals all wounds kind of thing. And I don't know how the reconciliation came about or anything like that, but every now and then you would see like Mike Portnoy attended Dream Theater concert, then
Right.
you saw another one, and it's like, okay, well, I mean, at least they're civil again, and this, that, and the other thing. But that's still. That announcement was just kind of really out of left field. But I mean,
which I wonder if it was like they sat back and was like, oh man, Portnoy just like blossomed when we let him go. It's like we're gonna blow up like 10 fucking projects. And, he never sat still. That's for damn sure. So,
no, no, he did not.
I guess it was like might as well bring him back, because I mean he's just going to keep doing other things if we don't. So
yeah.
But yeah, I think I read where it was something about one of the anniversaries for the album, one of the albums next year.
Probably.
The one that came out in '94, I think. So I think that's why they're doing that. So.
Yeah. But yeah, should work out pretty well. All right, my last one is over at Blabbermouth. And this is another one about a GoFundMe that has been started. So a GoFundMe campaign has been launched for Victoria Starry Sweet, the wife of Striper drummer Robert Sweet, who was diagnosed with an enlarged uterus and is planning to undergo a complete hysterectomy. On November 1st, Robert took to his personal Facebook page to write, quote, "My wife, Victoria Starry Sweet, is going through a very tough time, and our friends have decided to look to God, friends, family, and others to help through this GoFundMe." Starry was diagnosed with an enlarged uterus. Since the diagnosis, her uterus has steadily grown in size and is currently the size of a grapefruit. This has led her to suffer from extreme chronic pain, problems breathing, and excessive bleeding. She has already received one blood transfusion and will need another one unless she can successfully schedule and have a complete hysterectomy. We currently do not have health insurance, and the recent transfusion, office visits, and other health related expenses have been slowly adding up. I bet it hasn't been slowly. Starry has a surgery scheduled for November 9th, end quote. So, and then it goes into a bunch of history with the band, which we don't need to get into because it's not relative to the story.
Yeah,
The GoFundMe campaign is currently up to $12,000 of a $50,000 goal, but let's see, it's only been up for 2 days, so that's actually a good start for that GoFundMe also. So if you guys can help out with any of those, one of them, all of them, whatever, go over to GoFundMe and check those out. Like they always say in all of these, every little bit helps.
so before I get into this last little thing, to lead into that from asking this, but I always wonder when these GoFundmes and stuff come up, is how many people that go and put money in the offering plate every Sunday do anything for their fellow person, their fellow man. I always wonder that.
What kind of gets me is that's a little bit of it, but I have always wondered, especially with the size of some of these churches, how often they take the donations and actually
Give it to the person.
go out and help the people that they're supposed to be helping. So I wonder that sometimes too, because you see the size of some of these churches, and it's like, come on, man. But
I'll tell you this: like I was in a bind one time when me and my wife first got married the first couple of years. We were in a bind and we were behind on a house payment. I think it was during my knee surgery, and we had talked to the church about it or whatever. Well, the church themselves wouldn't vote to give anything to us to help us.
mm-hmm.
So the preacher told me, he said, "Hey, I'm going to give you 1 month rent, or 1 month for payment on your house, and you just pay me back whenever." And or actually, I tried to pay him back. And he said, "Don't worry." so
Well, I mean, I would hope so. All that tax-free money they get.
well, I mean, it wasn't from the church; it was out of his personal account. So
Not like he wouldn't have gotten it back, but
well, no, because it was like a 50-person church. He didn't get paid like that. So he was lucky to get $200 a week or something.
No, that's true. So wait. You were in a bind and you were way behind and you were looking to make a deal?
Yeah. I couldn't play the fiddle, so I was in trouble. But anyway, this I hate to end this on a sad note, but some of our friends over at the Tennessee Metal Devastation Festival shared this on the 27th of October.
Yeah, I hated hearing this.
We weren't on there, but it reads, "Dear Tennessee Metal Devastation Music Fest family, please join us in surrounding the family and friends of Courtney Stafford Turner and her son Nolan." That was on the 27th as they were laid to rest following a tragic car accident on October 18th. Courtney has been a Metal Fest vendor since they first started it, and we are grateful to have gotten the chance to know her over the last 2 years. Seeing Courtney and her partner Micah Joyner at the Metal Fest 2 weeks ago was huge smiles on their faces is a memory we will always cherish. Our hearts are broken and the pain is deep, but we find peace in knowing that their light and the beauty that Courtney and Nolan exuded in life will continue to shine brightly in all of our hearts and memories. As long as we remember them, they will never be truly forgotten. Much love from your Metal Devastation fans.
Mm-hmm.
And we kind of can kind of extend our sentiment at the same. We didn't know them personally, but right. I do remember that booth when they were talking about us. Oh yeah, I remember that booth.
Mm-hmm.
So, and we did, and I talked to everybody at the booth, so, all the booths. So, it is sad that situation happened, and it's I never knew the whole story, and so don't know what actually happened. I know they got hit head on, I believe.
I without looking back, like I say, I'm not trying to speculate unnecessarily or start anything, but if I remember correctly, that's a big if, because I did read this. I did read the same post that you read. I'm wanting to say it was a drunk driving accident.
Oh, was it?
I
Which is even,
don't remember for sure, so please don't quote me on that. But I'm wanting to say that's what happened,
which is even worse.
which is even worse.
You know, especially for the gripe and stuff that they got from trying to put this thing on, and then that happened. You know, it's kind of like really.
Hmm. Chris, at my birthday, I want to see you in the pit with me. I'll be in the pit with you, trying to avoid getting hit.
You got you got to sling your arms really fast. That's what.
Yeah, I'll be in there with you. I'll get in there with you.
All right, so that was all of that. I do have some other headlines here. Down may release new music in 2024, says guitarist Kurt Weinstein, which is good. I mean, that's going to keep Phil busy and probably save up for another Pantera tour in 2025.
One that comes to Nashville, hopefully.
You know what? I don't think that they would do that until they actually got like the new stadium or something. Because I think they would like pair up with like Metallica and do like a big stadium tour with like that.
Good God.
Yeah.
Dana, have a great night, buddy. Be careful out there.
Yeah, you too, man. Be careful. I think he said he was in Texas or something. So long way away from home.
Deep in the heart of.
Yeah. Marty Friedman's planning to release a new album next spring as well, so that's cool. Like, so Marty Friedman does mostly instrumental stuff. And let me say, like, I didn't know how I was going to feel about that until I saw it live, and then it's like, man, this is so fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Like, dude is very fucking talented. Like,
But what does Yngwie Malmsteen think?
we won't go there. He's like, here, use this guitar, Marty. Extremes Nuno Betancourt lists his Los Angeles home for $4 million, probably in hopes to move to Tennessee. I don't know. But,
probably.
And then Jim Rat, they said Jim Rat, so I guess Blackie Lawless is still considered a Jim Rat. I don't know at his age, maybe. But it says he is getting there in his post-surgery recovery, so that's good news. Hopefully he will be able to be ready to go and his when he's redoing the tour dates.
Mm-hmm.
So I know they're doing another like whole thing about that because they missed so much of it. So
yeah.
Dino Cazares isn't concerned about being the sole remaining member of Fear Factory's classic lineup, and why should he? There's a lot of bands. If you hadn't been on our Facebook group, there was a post about that earlier this week.
Where bands with no remaining original.
Yeah, no remaining members. That's crazy, but they're still going with the same name, which is pretty wild too. Here's one I know you shared and is ready for as I am. Millie Petrozza has already said a bunch of songs have been written for the next Creator album.
Hell yeah.
Uber, what was it? Uber.
Hey, Uber Alice.
Yeah, there you go. That album was fun.
Oh, it was good.
John 5 says Motley Crue and Guns N' Roses would be a wonderful, wonderful tour. Yeah, because Motley Crue would be opening.
Mm-hmm.
There's no way. There's no way Axel's going to open.
No.
Shadow.
Yeah, we all remember what happened in 1989, don't we?
Yeah. James remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers too.
That's right. Shadows Fall to perform their entire The War Within album at Sayreville, New Jersey concert. That's actually coming up, I think, in a couple of days or next week or something. It's not far off.
It is March 16th of 2024, so it's a little ways off. It's a little ways off.
It said November something. I'm like, what the fuck? Okay, well, never mind. So get tickets for that.
I mean, it's not that far off.
It's still like 4 months. I mean,
yeah, it's not that bad.
Tarja Turunen announced that she's going to release a dark Christmas album. So maybe have some Christmas music we will actually listen to. Metallica's James Hetfield will sign copies of the book Messengers, the guitars of James Hetfield, on Saturday, November 11th at 2 p.m. Central Time at Third Man Records Cast Corridor in Detroit, Michigan. So
Oh,
if you're
okay.
in that area, November the 11th, go by and get you a signed copy of the book. So, or if you know people in the area, get them to get you one.
I do know people in the area.
That
I
damn
do.
book. You know.
Yeah, I do actually.
Gojira has a lot of ideas for their next album. I have a feeling it's going to be heavier, says Mario DePlante, which I don't know how the fuck you get heavier, but okay.
Yeah.
Like like I went to the festival. They were like so fucking loud outside. I had to put earplugs in. So that's pretty fucking bad. Nikki Sixx once claimed that Motley Crue were in secret negotiations with the U.S. State Department to travel to Baghdad during the Iraq War to perform a Rolling Stones song.
Why did it have to be top secret? I mean, the USO goes over there all the time.
Right. Yes. But it's Nikki Sixx claims again.
Well, yeah, that's true.
We listen to Sharon. He don't know shit.
Well, you listen to Bruce Dickinson, and she doesn't know shit.
Amy says she's getting off of Facebook, so
Yeah, she may hop back on. She might hop back on YouTube. Sometimes she does that. So.
Okay, well, you know, well, if you don't get back on, Amy, thanks for stopping.
Aloha. Yeah,
So, I'll see you again in a minute. So.
Right.
All right, so Metallica haven't released a ballad since 2008's The Day That Never Comes, but bassist Robert Trujillo admits the slow songs will make a comeback eventually. So.
I don't consider that a ballad necessarily. I mean, I guess.
I mean, like even like the Fade to Black and all that's considered ballads, but maybe.
Well, I mean, Nothing Else Matters and The Unforgiven are ballads, but
yeah.
But I mean, so I guess Unforgiven 2 would be a ballad.
Yeah, and Unforgiven 3.
Yeah, Unforgiven 3. That's true.
All right. Steven Tyler faces sexual assault lawsuit from a second woman. Jean Bellino claims that Aerosmith singer assaulted her twice in 1975. Nothing like waiting
50 fucking years.
48.
I
mean, you missed the Me Too movement. That was a few years.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm not making fun of that. I'm just saying.
No,
it's ridiculous to be talking about this now. It's like, you the guy's damn near, done because he's having some issues with his vocals and stuff. So you don't know if he's ever even going to sing again. They canceled all the tours, I think. So, and that was going to be their final tour anyway. So, who knows? I just kind of think it's crazy to try to bank off it. Man, you should have banked off that shit in '88.
Yeah, you would have got. I mean, get your chunk of change. But I mean,
during the permanent vacation and get a grip years, you'd have made some money. Yeah. They could have. They had Alicia Silverstone in videos and Liv Tyler. They could afford you.
Well, I don't even think they had to pay Liv Tyler.
They probably didn't. So. Which is kind of amazing that she became as good an actress as she did. So
yeah.
I haven't seen her in nothing in a while though. So
no, it's been a minute.
Well, good. I mean, you probably don't have to make it getting that Lord of the Rings money shit.
Yes.
So Netflix is making a movie about docking, according to Don Docking. That would be interesting. And that was kind of all of the headlines that I had for this week. Unless you had something.
Nice. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Right.
Oh well, I did actually. I there was one that I did see where Godsmack is going to be doing an anniversary release of their debut album on the orange vinyl.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one that I do remember seeing. So that'll be kind of neat.
All right. It was. Hold on. I got to pull this up. I had a list we can do real quick because I think it's something that me and you both would have opinions on. So let me.
Nice.
Since we have time, I say, we got a little time. We're about to go into the hitting the road. So.
Well, I tell you what we can do. I don't know if you have anything for hitting the road, but I literally
got a couple of actually I took the stories from hitting the road because there wasn't a lot of the stories kind of took up a lot, and then there was two 2 lineups for festivals revealed that I was going to do. So other than that,
Okay. Hey, there's Octavio.
hey.
What's up, buddy?
All right. So according to Loudwire, the metalcore's 10 best clean singers and 10 plus 10 best bands who don't or barely use clean vocals. So this was kind of interesting to me that what they thought the top 10 was.
Okay.
So, according to them, it said here are the 10 best clean singers in metalcore, and for a fun comparison, 10 of the subgenre's most notable acts who don't or barely use clean vocals. When people think of metalcore, one of the first characteristics that comes to mind is the trade off of harsh and clean vocals,
Mhm.
almost always utilizing an aggressive verse countered by a melodic hook driven chorus, that or breakdowns.
I guarantee you, I know who's probably first on the list.
Well, we know who should be first on this.
If he's not, he should. He absolutely should be. If he's not, because I can't think of anybody better.
Although this dynamic has come to define the style since the early 2000s and is still the mold many newer artists comfortably shape themselves within, it's not a be-all, end-all trait.
True.
There are still a fair number of metalcore bands who don't bother with clean vocals at all, and if they dare do, it's exceedingly rare, usually coloring a mood rather than opting for the aforementioned cookie-cutter approach. So, other times these clean vocals are raw and lack traditional singing discipline and techniques, but it's the charm that overcomes any technical shortcomings. Over the years, a lot of metalcore vocalists have owned their clean singing chops, greatly improving upon what was once a shaky foundation. Others were just phenomenal right from the start, and we're looking at you, Howard Jones. That's that right? I think so.
There it is.
So, best clean singers in metalcore. They clean up nice. The first one they had here, well, I guess is number 10. Is what they said.
Okay.
Jorn Stritt from Soilwork.
Okay.
Soilwork frontman Jorn Stritt is a serious crooner, while the band's sound has flitted between metalcore and a style that leans more toward melodic death metal. One constant has been Stritt's excellent vocal delivery, with his broad range making Soilwork's music more palatable than many of their peers. Like many of the vocalists to feature on this list, one of Stritt's greatest qualities is the variety of vocal styles he can adopt, as he regularly moves between melodic, clean singing and more guttural growls with ease. And I'll say that last album they had out was very, very good. I thought so probably
Mhm. Yeah, the last soil work was very good.
Next on the list was Matt Heafy. Actually, this isn't in a number order, by the way. It's just they just put the 10 together.
Okay, I was about to say.
I thought it was in number order until I said, "Oh, well, there was a 10 there, and then there was like not a 9." So I'm not sure if they were going to, and they decided not to, or what. So Matt Heafy of Trivium. Trivium has steadily grown into one of metalcore's biggest names, and charismatic frontman Matt Heafy has been key to their success. Heafy can always be relied upon to deliver strong vocal performances, and as his career has progressed, the Trivium frontman's vocal style has become more varied and all-encompassing, with the band's catalog including songs composed entirely of both clean singing and screaming. A well-liked and respected talent, Heafy is up there with metalcore's best. I would probably agree with that.
I'd probably put him at 2.
Yeah,
I would. I'd probably put him at 2.
and here's our number one guy, Howard Jones from
Yeah.
and Killswitch Engage. The talents of Howard Jones are a big reason why Killswitch Engage became a metalcore behemoth in the 2000s. A big presence on stage with an even bigger voice, Jones continues to be one of metalcore's finest singers in his role with Light the Torch, who he joined following his exit from Killswitch. All metal fans will be aware of his career-defining turn on the Killswitch Engage track "My Curse," in which Jones delivers an emotive and strident vocal performance that showcases his vast talents in full. And also, if you want to check out some other stuff, there's also The Devil You May Know had an album out that became Like the Torch. So if you didn't have enough to go off of, there you go.
Yeah.
Next was Courtney LaPlante from Spirit Box. The breakout metal band of 2021, Spirit Box are led by a frighteningly strong vocalist and ex I Wrestled a Bear Once vocalist, Courtney LaPlante. Whether she's screaming, golly, I can't touch my screen. I forgot it's a touch screen.
Mine is too.
Whether she's screaming her heart out or delivering her silky smooth, clean vocals, there's no one in the scene doing things like her. LaPlante's gorgeous singing is on display throughout Spirit Box's critically acclaimed debut LP, Eternal Blue, a record which suggests big things beckon for a band whose singer is already on an absolute titan. The 2023 Fear of Fear EP demonstrates even more progression and versatility as LaPlante and Spirit Box continue their evolution. I will say this: the EP's not bad. There's a couple of songs in there. I honestly prefer her doing the screams and guttural stuff. I don't like her doing this. Like, it's not that she can't sing it. I just don't think her singing those clean vocals go well with the composition of music they're trying to do it with.
Yeah. I honestly, I must be. I'm probably only maybe one of the few people that just don't really. I've still never heard Spirit Box's their debut album, and I don't even think I've heard the EP. I just I don't know. It's just one of those bands that I'm just not really. I can just kind of take it or leave it. That's just me. That's just me.
And then the next one on the list is Greg Puciato from the Dillinger Escape Plan. Greg Puciato's work with Dillinger Escape Plan isn't metalcore in the traditional sense, but that's always been part of their charm. Echoing the band's varied and technically proficient take on metalcore, Puciato's vocals are equally unique, with the former Dillinger leader able to deliver the kind of harmonies that and falsettos few can match. Having disbanded in 2017, sorry, the Dillinger Escape Plan remains sorely missed in the metal scene. Uh, I think didn't they do a reunion thing on one of the
Um,
festivals? I thought.
I don't remember, but I do know that there were stories floating around about them getting offers to do a reunion at a festival, and I know Pucciato is out doing solo stuff right now, so I think that whole reunion thing is kind of up in the air.
Well, this is one I can agree with as well. Spencer Charnas from Ice Nine Kills, one of the most innovative bands in contemporary metal. Ice Nine Kills are led by a fine frontman in Spencer Charnas, who can sing and scream with serious proficiency. There's a real theatricality to Charnas's vocals, which borrows from the likes of My Chemical Romance's Gerard Way and elevates the band's output above many of their metalcore peers. A frontman with the talent and vision to make his band a serious success. Don't be surprised to see Ice Nine Kills become a huge name in the metal in the coming years. I think they already are, but that's just me.
Yeah, I'd say.
I mean, to me, if you're headlining like some of the places like they're headlining, uh, you're going overseas, you're doing shit. I mean, you're there, dude. Sorry, you may not be the biggest band, but you made it.
I was about to say they've definitely made it.
Next on the list was Danny Warsnop from Asking Alexandria. The raw talent of Danny Warsnop can't be denied, even if Asking Alexandria's early years as a more run-of-the-mill metalcore outfit, his vocal ability stood out, and as the band have grown into a more respected and mature group, so too has the respect for Warsnop's abilities become more widespread. A metalcore vocalist more in the guise of a classic rock frontman, Danny Warsnop's singing sounds great, whether it's fronting Asking Alexandria or the straight up rock of side project We Are Harlan. So, I haven't heard of it. I'll say Asking Alexandria has kind of toned it down a little bit their singer left. One of the singers left like when I remember it's probably sometime in the 2000s, I think. So, and then after that they kind of got a little mellow. But, this one, I guess you can't base the guy's attitude on his fucking singing, but Ronnie Radke, Followed in Reverse, and Escape the Fate. A string of controversies have made Ronnie Radke a much maligned figure in the eyes of many metal fans, but there's no denying the man's got pipes. Radke's talents as a singer were evident as soon as the former band Escape the Fate merged with their debut LP, Dying Is Your Latest Fashion, a record whose vast success owes much to Radke's cutting vocal performance. He's continued that work with current outfit Following Reverse, and he's showing no signs of letting up, with the band's recent track Popular Monster becoming a rock radio smash, in the process highlighting Radke's proficiency with rapping, clean singing, and harsh vocals alike. I'm still kind of curious on with him doing all this shit. You know, they're supposed to be opening up for or not opening, but they're supposed to be on tour with Disturbed. I wonder
Mm-hmm.
what David Trainman thinks about that right now. He's like, "What the fuck did I do?" But
Yeah, I don't know.
uh, then we have Aaron Gillespie of Under Oath. I can probably get on board with this one. The vocal talents of Aaron Gillespie are there for all to see him across the back catalog of Under Oath, but his abilities are perhaps best evidenced in the 2004 classic "They're Only Chasing Safety," the band's melodic emo-leaning album that delivered tracks such as "Reinventing Your Exit," where Gillespie's singing takes center stage, as well as in his work with Under Oath. Gillespie's significant singing ability is evidenced in his solo output as well as with his alt rock band, The Almost. I'm not familiar with those, but I do like some Under Oath. Caleb Shomo from Beartooth, another metalcore vocalist who can deliver the sings as well as the screams. Caleb Shomo is rightfully one of the current scene's most beloved figures, a picture of charisma and unbridled energy. Whether he takes to the stage with Beartooth, Shomo's singing talents shouldn't be underrated, with songs like In Between and Disease showcasing his serious range. Check out the live tracks on Beartooth's deluxe edition of Below for evidence of his abilities. I could add somebody in there, but I'm gonna see if they're on this list first. So,
Did you say this was? Did you say this was 10? Have we got to 10 so far?
that was 10. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because I was gonna say, I mean, I lost count, but I was like, Jesus Christ.
But there was a separate list of 10 metalcore bands who don't or barely use cleaning vocals. So there was two different ones.
Okay.
So this is the ones who don't or barely use cleaning vocals. August Burns Red, perhaps the most obvious pick when it comes to metalcore bands who aren't known for dabbling in singing. August Burns Red have been powered by frontman Jake Lurz's potent screams for going on 2 decades. The band's more recent output has seen a small amount of cleans find their way in, but for the most part, the Pennsylvania boys rely on the kind of devastating vocal delivery that can be heard on monumental career highlights such as Mariana's Trench. Next was Parkway Drive, which, I mean, if you haven't heard Darker Still, I mean, that dude can definitely do some melody stuff. So, as time has gone by, Parkway Drive's material has begun to incorporate clean vocals more frequently, particularly on excellent 2022 LP Darker Still, but they're still best known for frontman Winston McCall's screams, one of the best in the contemporary field. McCall's delivery on career highlights such as Vice Grip and The Void is unrivaled, while tracks such as Ground Zero and Like Napalm on their more melodic new LP still pack a hefty vocal punch. Parkway and McCall continue to lead the way in metalcore, which, like I said, if you haven't heard Darker Still from the album Darker Still, it's a ballad, and dude, he killed that shit. Hatebreed, an outfit who combine classic hardcore with beatdown and metalcore. Hatebreed are led by the unmistakable cries of Jamie Josta. Josta's vocals lean on the beatdown grooves of the Connecticut band's music, the frontman consistently delivering his lyrics with deep, potent shouts. A forceful and key component of Hatebreed's sound, the vocals of Jamie Josta add an extra dimension to the quintet's aggro brand of metal. Next was Kimara. Their early material definitely leans more heavily on new metal, but more metalcore elements crept into Ohio veterans Kimara sound as the years passed and the band continued to evolve. Despite the changes in musical style, though, one thing that's been pretty consistent has been vocalist Mark Hunter's screams. Always a key facet of the band's sound, Hunter's impressive cries are best evidenced by classic tracks like The Forceful Power Trip and Resurrection. Misery Signals. I'm not too familiar with those guys, but I have heard some stuff. Wisconsin's Misery Signals have had a couple of vocalists during their career, but the vocal delivery from these metalcore favorites has always been ferociously heavy, no matter who's been doing the screaming. They've been at it for 20 years now, but the music's still delivering hammering blows like devastating single The Tempest, taken from the 2020 LP Ultraviolet, a record that reunited them with original screamer Jesse Zaraska. Misery Signal are an underrated but always reliable metalcore outfit. And Converge, one of metalcore's early pioneers, Converge didn't need any clean singing in order to make it work. At times, sounding less like a voice and more like a percussive instrument, adding yet another hard-hitting layer to music. Frontman Jacob Bennon's delivery is a unique and iconic feature of the metalcore genre, a must-listen band for those who like the metalcore bleak and disciplined. And let's see how many more I got here. Two, I think. Within ruins, within the ruins, music, but what the hell? That's all cut off. Like what the fuck? They did. They cut like half of it off. But in comparison to the output of the majority of the modern metalcore pack, these guys rely far more heavy on their cleans. Lead vocalist and screamer Steve Tennant, who replaced the long-serving Tim Gorgon in 2018, is the focal point, with the clean vocalist bassist Palo Galang singing and predominantly as backup. For a taste of the band's current might, check out Ferocious 2020 LP Black Heart, which delivers several hammer blows. Shay Halud, ever heard of them? Like other metalcore outfits on the list who formed in the 90s, Shay Halud have consistently fallen at the heavier end of the game. The Floridians had a plethora of vocalists during their career, but have never been tempted to go to the clean singing route. Instead, sticking with the kind of raw scream meets shout vocal style that characterized much of the early metalcore scene. No matter who has been delivering the lyrics through, though, Shay Halud's tunes have always been powerful examples of the collision between hardcore punk and more traditional metal fare. Damn, I thought I was at the two more. Sorry, I thought I was at the end of it. The Ghost Inside, a couple of their bigger songs, such as Engine 45, feature clean but contemporary front runners. The Ghost Inside have helped bring metalcore to a wider audience wider audience without an over reliance on melodic vocals. The band's celebrated return 2020 self-titled LP showcases much of what has made them so beloved by modern metalcore fans, particularly the inclusion of the melodic hardcore and classic emo influences that help to steep the five-piece sound in emotion. TGI are proof that you don't need sultry singing in order to make heavy music emotionally effective. And last, the Hope Conspiracy, another band whose career began in the late 90s. The Hope Conspiracy leaned more on hardcore than other bands featured here, but the elements of metalcore remain. The vocal style of frontman Kevin Baker, as with the overall musical approach of the band, is more in tune with metalcore's early pioneers who evolved the genre from its hardcore and new metal adjacent roots. If you're interested in getting to grips with the early origins of metalcore, the Hope Conspiracy are well worth checking out. The only thing that I would add in here is probably Chris Motionless and the clean side, because he does do some very good clean stuff too. So, other than that, I think the list was pretty solid.
Yeah.
All right.
I'd say they definitely got all the big names on there for sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. So. All right, hitting the road.
Yeah, right. Yeah. All right. Yeah, we had a short list this week, and I mean, like it wasn't even because we kind of had to scramble because we weren't expecting to do the show. I went back to Saturday and came forward, and it was just a short list. I mean, it just
well, that's why I didn't do anything other than the stories. So.
Yeah, so just it is what it is. So for hitting the road this week, from October 28th through the 3rd.
Do you want me to do the stories first?
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yep, go ahead.
I figured you want me to do that first. I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess.
That's fine. Yeah, go right ahead.
From Metal Sucks, this one was over Metal Sucks. There's a huge festival happening this weekend down in Mexico called Heaven and Hell Open Air, and the lineup is admittedly pretty damn stacked. Yet with the festivities kicking off tomorrow, apparent logistical issues are keeping Coal Chamber from entering the country, let alone performing. The news broke over the band's Instagram page where they claim alleged logistical failures by the festival's promoter caused Coal Chamber to not be able to board their flights over. So their statement explicitly lays the blame solely on the festival and its organizers, as you can see here, which I'll read it to you. It says, quote, "Hello, everyone. Is with heavy heart due to the festival's lack of logistics entirely. Coal Chamber was forced to not board planes today for Heaven and Hell in Mexico, and we will not be playing. So please enjoy the festival, and we hope the festival apologizes for any inconvenience they caused you all. Know that this was not the band's fault whatsoever." End quote. The band is currently on a reunion run of sorts having already played a bunch of shows since getting back together. Unfortunately, this logistical nightmare isn't the first of its kind in recent months, as other bands have had to cancel shows and tours due to travel and visa concerns. It's just an unfortunate circumstance that Coal Chamber got caught up in at this time. More than 100 bands are currently billed for the 3-day festival down in Mexico City. Other major acts include Slipknot, Muse, Guns N' Roses, among some other acts. So not, I mean, it's just because Coal Chamber's not there. It's not going to be any lack of music, but if you're going there as a Coal Chamber fan, sorry. So, which kind of sucks because I know how it is to go and try to see somebody you want to see and you don't get to. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah. So over at Loudwire, oh wait, Metal Injection, sorry. Metal Injection have announced that Shiprocked from February 4th through the 10th, 2024, have announced their lineups for the Shiprocked there. It's going to include I Prevail, Killswitch Engage, Beartooth, Highly Suspect, Code Orange, Bad Flower, Blackstone Cherry, Broken Love, Cassette, Catch Your Breath, Crowbot, Dayseeker, Dead Poet Society, Dorothy, Eva Under Fire, Fire from the Gods, From Ashes to New, Fury and Few, Hot Crazy, Kid Capiche, Luna Aura, Point North, Scene Queen, Sleep Theory, The Warning, Them Dirty Roses, Tiger Cub, Winona Fighter, Yonaka, and then it has some stowaways here. I guess that's Andy Wood Trio, Johnny's. I don't know who these are. Different sets from like acoustic sets. I think that's what this is. So they'll have acoustic sets from Johnny Stevens of Highly Suspect, Josh Katz and Joey Morrow of Bad Flower, Keith Wallen of Breaking Benjamin, Matt James of Blacktop Mojo. So let's see. Let me see if that's also on the stowaways is Michael Starr of Steel Panther, Bailey Kramer from Pop Evil, Bumblefoot, Roy Mayorga from Ministry and Stone Sour, Keith Wallen from Breaking Benjamin, as I said, Elias Soriano from Nonpoint, Emily Armstrong from Dead Sarah, and many more. So I think I covered it. Yeah. So not lacking any talent on
Not at all.
the boat there. So
no, just make sure you stay on the boat.
Well, and this was sold out. You know, I think it was before they announced any bands. It was already sold out.
Yeah,
So,
if I remember right, yeah.
Which was crazy. They're going to have to get. You're going to be like a Jaws. We may need a bigger boat.
Yeah, I might.
And also the 2024 Rock AM Ring and Rock IM Park Festival lineups have been revealed. So if you're over in the area there from June 7th through the 9th, let's see. Yeah. Friday, this is the Rock AM. Friday, June 7th is going to be Die Ars. I know they got some local flavor there that we may not know. So
yeah.
Avenged Sevenfold, Queens of the Stone Age, Beartooth, Dropkick Murphys, Creator, Crosses, As in Hell, Cemetery Sun, Inner Shikari, Fit for a King, Royal Blood, Pennywise, Neck Deep, Mudvayne, Scene Queen, Skindred, Orgasm on Friday, the June 7th. There, and there's a couple other bands there, but so I'm trying to touch base on just the stuff here because it is a lot. So Saturday, June 8th, you have Green Day, Broilers, Billy Talent, Baby Metal, Bad Omens, Electric Cowboy, 311, Against the Current, Dog Star, LS Dunes, Pendulum, Royal Republic, Pink Shift, The Interpreters, The Scratch, and Under Oath. On Sunday, June 9th, you have Main Skin, Parkway Drive, Craft Club, Corey Taylor, Machine Head, Betray You, Biohazard, Body Count, Counterparts, Fear Factory, Hate Breed, Periot, Landmarks, Madsen, Malevolence, Of Mice and Men, Lithia, The Artist Murder, and While She Sleeps. I'll just show up on Sunday. Shit. Hell of a lineup for Sunday. And then the Rock IM Park, Friday, June 7th. You have Green Day, Broilers, Billy Talent, Baby Metal, Mad Omens, Electric Cowboy. Some of the same bands. It's Scratch, Pink Ship, Pendulum, Royal Republic. Yeah, a lot of the same bands. They just kind of switched the days around, I think. So, but it's the same bands. They just switched the days. Looks like, yeah, that's what they. That's what they did. So
Okay.
the bands that were on first on Friday are now on Sunday for the AM or IM side. So, I guess it's like a 2-part thing or something. I don't know. I've never really got into that too much. So yeah, so it's the same bands. They just so the Sunday bands on one is the Saturday bands on the other. So yeah,
Oh,
it's all
okay.
it's all the same bands, just different dates. So the Rock AM and I, so, not bad.
Gotcha. All right.
But yeah, that's I think that's all. It was just oh, also wanted to say the Incarceration Music and Tattoo Festival will be Kamara's first festival gig in 14 years.
Oh, see,
Oh, great.
yeah, that'll be nice.
Yeah, that'll be nice. And take it away.
All right. All right. So for hitting the road for October 28th through November 3rd, starting off at the PRP like always, we have The Ocean. The world is a beautiful place, and I'm no longer afraid to die. That's too long of a fucking band name. Fix that shit. And Shy Low going on a tour of North America starting February 7th, 2024 in Baltimore, Maryland at the Baltimore Soundstage, and will finish March 10th, 2024 in Orlando, Florida at the Conduit. Unprocessed, Tesseract, and the Callous Boys will be going to Europe and to the UK starting January 18th, 24 in Esch sur Alzette, Luxembourg at the Rock Hall, finishing February 27th in Dublin, Ireland at the Academy. Unprocessed is going on a North American tour after that. No word on the opening acts yet. That tour will start April 5th, 2024 in Lakewood, Ohio at Mahal's 20 Lanes. Finishing May 4th in Anaheim, California at the Chain Reaction. They will be in Nashville on April 17th at the End. 8 new dates have been added to the Perfect Circle, Primus, and Pussifer tour. 2 dates back-to-back in Boston, Massachusetts at the Bosch Center at the Wang Theater on April 2nd and 3rd. April 5th in Mashantucket, Connecticut at the Premier Theater at Foxwoods Resort Casino. April 6th in Atlantic City, New Jersey at the Hard Rock Live at ETES Arena. April 30th in Bonner Springs, Kansas at the Azura Amphitheater. May 1st in Chicago at the Wintrust Arena. May 2nd in Clarkston, Michigan at Twin Knob Music Theater. And May 4th in Forest Hills, New York at the Forest Hills Stadium. The Amity Affliction, Alpha Wolf, Terminal Sleep, and Run are going to Australia starting January 4th in Tamworth at the West Tamworth League Club, finishing February 4th in Cairns City at Gilligan's. Slash, featuring Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators, The Struts, and Rose Tattoo are going to Australia also, starting February 22nd in Adelaide at the Adelaide Entertainment Centre, and rounding out on February 27th in Melbourne at the John Cain Arena. Horrendous is going on a little bit of a run for their Ontological Mysterium release, that album release with Outer Heaven, which will start December 27th in Worcester, Mass. At Ralph's Rock Diner, finishing January 14th of 24 in Baltimore at the Metro Gallery. Carnifex, Aborted, Revocation, and Vexed are going to Europe and to the UK, starting March 16th in Cologne, Germany at the Essig Fabric, finishing April 6th in Hamburg, Germany at the Markt Hall. Then at metalsucks.net, we have Go Ahead and Die and Body Box going out with Second Shooter, Deep Within, Madzilla, and Half Heard Voices appearing at select dates at varying lineups. That tour will start January 19th, 2024 in Tucson, Arizona at The Rock, and will finish March 24th in Jerome, Arizona at Pussifer, The Store. So that's all I have for hitting the road this week.
Do you see that Iron Maiden one?
Yeah, I did. And I forgot to put it on here because it happened during the week when we were off. So yeah, I did see that actually.
I was actually talking about it since it was during the week we were off, but it hadn't happened yet. So.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
That was actually that's the reason I didn't put that one down. I was like, surely, yeah.
I should have put it down actually.
They're not coming here, so I don't.
No, they're not, and that sucks. Let's see. Well, no, I don't want to go to Ticketmaster. Hang on. Hang on. Let's see. Iron Maiden is going on their 22 concert Future Past tour that will send the legendary rockers into venues all over North America in fall of 2024. Let's see. It starts October 4th at the uh, North Island Credit Union Amphitheater in San Diego. Of course, this is for next year. That's how far out
Right.
it is. So October 4th of 24 in San Diego, California at the North Island Credit Union Amphitheater, finishing November 17th, 2024 in San Antonio at the Frost Bank Center. So yeah.
That's crazy. They're crazy, booking shows already a year in
Yeah,
advance.
so that's a ways out. So
That's what I couldn't imagine anticipating and having tickets for a show for a year.
for an entire year, I know that's
I go crazy for 4 months.
I've had tickets to a comedy show 8 months in advance before, and that's insane.
Yeah, that is pretty. All right, before we get into the theme of the week here, this is this week's actual new music playlist.
Yeah.
Some of the new metal, some of the new metal that came out. It's not all of it, but that is some of it. Did you notice like a couple of the albums they had on the list had already been out for a minute? I seen one of them. I said, man, that came out like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I was basically just focused on today. But that doesn't surprise me. I've had that happen in the past where it's like, this has been out already. What the hell? Why is it listed this week? So
One of them was from I want to say August of last year, like 2022. I'm like,
I was about to say I've had albums show up on the website, and then you go and you look at the date. It's like, this has been out for a few months,
yeah.
So it's not unheard of.
You think it would be a deluxe or something if they're they're releasing something new, but
Right.
But no, it was just, I didn't see anything. I was just like, because I was I go through and do the playlist and I look at those things and I always make sure that when I pull the album up that it actually came out today. So, but yeah, wow. I was like reading some of it. I'm like, wow, that was 2022. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But anyway, our theme of the week this week is children.
Children.
Children. Calm down.
Children.
So I will kick this off, I guess, with
All right.
With like the first, let's see, about the first 8 or 9 was kind of like off the top of my head, and then I had to kind of go off the grid a little bit. But
yeah, I'm gonna while you're reading your list, if you say any of the songs that I thought you were gonna say, like as soon as you mention, I'm gonna hold up a finger for each one that I was gonna pick that I knew you would pick.
No.
So I'm gonna keep track while you're reading yours.
If they're all there, we know each other too.
Well, yeah.
My very first one was Testament, Children of the Next Level from Titans of Creation 2020. My second one was Children of Bottom, If You Want Peace, Prepare for War from Are You Dead Yet 2005. My third one was Judas Priest, Children of the Sun from Firepower 2018. My next one was Wasp, Wild Child from The Last Command 1985. Contortion, Children of the Snake from the Children of the Snake EP 2023. Then I went with White Snake, Children of the Night from White Snake 1987. Then I went with Metal Church, Children of the Lie from Congregation of Annihilation 2023. Then I went with Ozzy, Crazy Babies, No Rest for the Wicked 1988. Then I went with Havoc, Children of the Grave, which is a cover of the Black Sabbath song. Unnatural Selection 2013. You can actually go with a few bands. I think Rob Zombie, White Zombie, somebody did a cover of that as well. So
Stone Sour did too.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a few out there, so which is pretty crazy. My next one was Butcher Babies, Spit and Teeth, Until the World's Blind 2023. Then I went with Disturbed Parasite. I went with the album here, Lost Children 2011. Motley Crue, Knock 'em Dead Kid from Shout Out the Devil 1983. Then I went with Twisted Sister, The Kids Are Back, You Can't Stop Rock and Roll 1983. And my last one was Slipknot Orphan, We Are Not Your Kind 2019. So,
okay, not as many as I thought.
well, it's probably the same ones I stayed away from because I thought you would have them.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm going to read mine, and then I will tell you the other songs that I thought you would pick that I avoided because I thought you would pick them. So I'll tell you the other ones after I get done.
I'll tell you if that's the same reason I avoided.
Okay. Well, 'cause that's the thing is, I mean, even because I mean, like I say, we can always add them in after the
Oh,
fact.
sure.
Yeah, because that's the thing is like I still think we do know each other too well, but I mean at this point,
I
so
mean, four out of the 13 still not
right.
bad.
Yeah. All right. So my list theme of the week and the my number one, I recycled one from last week, but it just so happened to fit. I went with "Youth Gone Wild" by Skid Row off of their self-titled album from 1989. Number two was "Child" by Avatar off "Hunter Gatherer" from 2020. Number three was "Progenies of the Great Apocalypse" from Dimmu Borgir off Death Cult Armageddon from 2003. Then I went with "Devil's Son" by Devil Driver off their self-titled album for 2003. Then I went with "Children of the Night" by Dream Evil off of Evilized from 2003. I also went with "Wild Child" by Wasp. I knew you would have it, but it's too good of a fucking song to leave it off, so I went with it anyway. "Last Command" 1985. Then I went with "Children of a Worthless God" by Exodus off the Atrocity Exhibition Exhibit A from 2007. Oh, you're holding up fingers too? Then I went with "From the Cradle to the Grave" by Havoc off Point of No Return from 2012. Then this one's not exactly the most cheerful subject when it comes to children, but I went with "Stillborn" by Black Label Society off of the Blessed Hell Ride from 2003. Then I went with "Altered Boy" by Exodus off Shovel-Headed Kill Machine from 2005. What is that? Three?
Well, I had three, but you said a different song that I thought
Oh,
with
okay. Okay.
because there was two Havoc songs, and I just chose that one. But there were two Havoc songs that I was going to pick from, and I said, he'll probably have this other one, so I'm going to do Children of the Grave. I actually thought you would have the Black Sabbath version of Children of the Grave. So
I stayed away from "Children of the Grave"
did
completely.
you?
Yeah. And then I had "Childhood's End" by Angela Sapotrita off their self-titled album for 2021. Then I went with "Expendable Youth" by Slayer off Seasons in the Abyss from 1990. And then a band that I just discovered today that I really, really, really like the stuff that I've heard of theirs so far. And I meant to tell you about this band earlier, but the name of the song is "Elm Street's Children," and the name of the band is Elm Street off of their self-titled album Barbed Wire Metal from 2011. They are a heavy metal band from Melbourne, Australia.
So that was actually the album review I was going to do last week.
Well, actually, I actually started listening to their new album, the Great Tribulation.
So it's really good.
It's very good. I'm like halfway through it right now. It is so good.
I think I started writing it up and just never did fucking post it. So
Oh, it's so good. So I started listening to some of their. I actually just stumbled upon Elm Street's Children while doing some research, and I listened to the song, and then I started listening to some of the other songs on YouTube, and then because I was listening to all of their like Elm Street's Children is off their new album for 2011. They had another album. I listened to some of their stuff, and then it just so happened that I saw that The Great Tribulation came out last week. I was like, oh shit, okay. So as soon as I finished my album that I did the album review on, I was like, I'm going to listen to that new album. And like I say, I'm already about halfway through it, and I'm really, really digging it so far. So it's very good. Okay, so all right, the other song because I had four. The other songs that I thought you would have were "Sweet Child of Mine,"
actually,
Seventh
you would have that one.
Seventh Son of a Seventh Son,
Oh man,
and "Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter."
oh my god! Actually, Bring Your Daughter to the Slaughter was one of the ones I was going to put on there too.
So
It actually
so
was one I was going to put on there.
so I had 13, but those were the seven songs. Well, actually, because I had "Wild Child" just like you. So six of those songs, I was like, he'll have those, so I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah, so I'm actually I was going to put actually when we talked about that when you first talked about actually I got it wrote down on my book I think upstairs because I was working when you talked about it I said so that's usually what I do like I'll just start when I'm working I'll just write down stuff along the during while I'm working I'm like yeah that'll go with that actually Bring Your Daughter to Slaughter is on there. I just never brought it down here to do it. I actually
Yeah, so obviously we can get those added in, but I just thought that was funny because I was like, I'll have half of his list right off the top of my head if I put those on there.
yeah, sure, yeah, almost. That's great.
Yeah, so
we're still looking at probably about our 30 songs, which is
yeah,
kind of good. I think 30 songs usually 30 songs usually hits around 2 hours. So.
Yeah, it's not too bad. So, but yeah, we'll get the playlist compiled and collaborated. We'll get it posted for you guys up on Spotify. Within the next 36 to 48 at worst. So
Yeah, a lot sooner than it took me to edit the John O'Connor interview.
well, you did have to completely chop out.
I was
10.
I tried to chop out the back end of that too, but it wouldn't let me for some reason. I don't know if it would only let me do. What, oh, it was weird. It was like I chopped it the first part, saved it, and then try to go back and like edit it again to chop out that part, and it still wouldn't let me. I don't know what the hell I was doing wrong with that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it was long enough. The part I was cutting was so small. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think he was just like, yeah, no, it's too small. But
Oh, okay. I got you.
because it was only like a few, 40 seconds or something. It wasn't crazy. The
Oh, okay.
other part was a couple of minutes, so it was a little bit.
Right.
Okay, but it's up on Spotify if you want to listen to the John O'Connor interview. It is there.
It was a fun interview. We had that little hiccup, but it was still fun.
Yeah, John's a good dude. All right, I guess we can get into our album reviews of this week. I actually got 2 in, so and actually, believe it or not, I got in one that wasn't even on the list.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, because it was it showed up on it showed up somewhere, and I was like, what? I was like, I've never heard of this, and so I was like, that's, and I got to look, and I said, hell, that's not even on the list.
That
So
works when you can find a surprise.
yeah, so that was pretty cool. I was actually looking because the name of the band was Graven Sin, and I remember seeing something Graven, but it wasn't that. It was Graven Image. So it was a whole different, and it was an EP. So
Okay, there you go.
I was like, oh, that's a whole different band. Like, what the fuck? So I was like, I got to look, and I said, oh, they do have a whole album out. So I was like, all right, cool. Because I think just the one song popped up. I said, oh, this is new. So I got to look, and I said, oh, the whole album came out. Like, what the fuck? But anyway, the one I actually went with initially was As the Palace Burns, Drowning into Shadows. As the Palace Burns are from Kill This. It's Santa Catarina in Brazil. So I don't know what the first part of the word is, but anyway. They're a groove metal band formed in 2018. Their current lineup is Andre Schneider on bass, Gilson Naspolini, I think it's drums, Diego Bittencourt guitars, and Alison Garcia on vocals. All original members formed in 2018, of course. So but we have seen bands that form that quick and drop people just as quick. So
Yep. We have.
So this is the band's second full-length album, 9 songs, 38 minutes, 51 seconds. I would actually describe this a little more with groove metal mixed with metalcore. There's a lot of metalcore aspects of this album. And as you know, I'm a metalcore fan, so I kind of think that out a lot more than I probably should. But, like I do see the groove metal part of it though, because it does have a little, Lamb of Godish type grooves in it. So you definitely get the screams and the cleans. That's why I kind of said it was more of a metalcore, because a lot of the groove metal you don't get a lot of cleans with, especially with like I said, bands like Lamb of God. I mean, Randy don't do a lot of cleans. And then at first, like the first couple of songs, it seemed like the instruments were a little bit louder than the vocals, but it just may have been the way that it was mixed. I think that's the only thing that really bothered me. The songs were great. It was just more of the recording part of it, I think. So kind of having trouble picking up what he was putting down.
There you go.
But definitely had some great guitar work in this. Did enjoy that. And then there was some backing vocals on one of the tracks called "The Last Ride," and it reminded me a lot of the old school Skid Row, like "Youth Gone Wild" type thing. Like in the background. It kind of reminded me a lot of that with the backing vocals. It was actually And actually, I enjoyed that. It was pretty cool. Not a bad thing at all. Getting to practice Skid Row. As the Palace Burns was a 2 minute 57-second instrumental, but I was good with that. The placement was kind of strange because it was next to the last song. But and check this out: the last song was an 8 minute 18-second mashup of songs as a tribute to bands like Children of Bottom and Pantera who had lost members. So it was kind of a tribute to bands that have lost members over the past few years, which was pretty cool.
Okay.
Actually, I was listening to it and I said, "Oh, they redid a Children." But the name of the song was "Some May Die." Was that the name of it? You go check it out real quick. Sorry, I didn't write the name of that. So, "Some of Them Died." That's the name of the song.
Okay.
But like it started out playing Children of Bottom. Are we dead yet? And I was like, oh, that's Children of Bottom. And I thought maybe I was like, man, did Spotify just fucking trip on me? And I was like, no. Then they went into like Pantera Domination and a couple other songs. I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it. They're paying tribute to bands that kind of a fallen brother type thing.
Nice. Yeah.
So I thought that was pretty cool. Man, that was actually pretty awesome to hear that. Overall, I'm gonna give it 3.5 horns, just mainly because those first couple tracks were a little bit weird with the mixing. But other than that, it was a great album. Definitely would have got a 4 horns if it wasn't for that.
There's a lot to be said for production value.
There is. Even with even with the theme of the week, we could have went with was it Invisible Kid, right? From Saint Anger, which I wouldn't have because the drumming sucks.
Right. And trust me, I even pondered it for a couple seconds, but I'm like, man, that song is
horrible, dude.
Yeah,
just
snare drum is not good.
Whoever idea that was needs to be shot. I wish they would redo that whole album.
I wish they would remaster it. Yeah,
that would be fucking awesome. Which maybe they will when they gets to like some big 25, 30-year thing.
I bet they don't.
You don't think they will?
Nope, I bet they won't I bet they won't because they're like this was what we wanted to sound like, and
Probably.
Like it or lump it. Because they never put the bass back into Injustice for All. Why would they remaster fucking Saint Anger?
Saint Anger would have never happened. It wasn't Cliff would have been like, fuck no, doing that shit. But
so, yeah, I bet they don't.
All right, like I said, the second one I had was Graven Sin. The album is called Veil of the Gods. This is actually one I think you would like.
Graven Sin.
Yeah.
What was the name of the album again?
It was Veil of the Gods.
Veil of the Gods. Okay.
All right. Graven Sin is a band out of Tampere, Pirkanmaa, Finland.
Oh, nice.
Cyprus, I guess. And it just says country of origin international. So,
sure. A little bit of international flavor there.
Well, they are it says they're just plain heavy metal. They were formed in 2021, although these guys are no strangers to being in bands. Actually, I want to pull this up real quick because I can't read the print when I print it out. So it printed smaller for some fucking reasons. That pisses me off. We just go to something. Figure it out. All right. So this way I can blow it up. So the drummer is V, and they don't have any like first names here. They just say V Markkanen. Then the guitarist and bassist, so he does guitars and bass. Wow, that's crazy. V Pistinen, and then the vocals is in Leptos. So the drummer has been in. Oh, I'm trying to see if there's anything. Ex Maveth, ex Wounded Ways, ex Cryptborn, ex Heartgoat, ex Lion Ruins, Woman Lord. Like, oh, he's been a lot of shit. The bassist is the one that has like a. Jesus Christ! I think it'd be easier for me to name the bands he wasn't in. Seriously, 1, 2, 3, 4. It's 5 lines worth of bands that this guy was in.
That's a lot.
like let's say Nightbringer. Trying to see if any of them kind of sound for me. Horna, Black Stitch, Drown in the Light. A lot of them were just live bands, but he was in them for their live stuff. So, B Hexen, yeah, a lot of them there. The vocalist has been in a couple. Diphtheria, War ex Warlord. Oh, really? Okay. Gangland and Prodigal Earth, among a couple of other ones. Array and Path, which that's a band that I've heard of before. So, yeah. So this is the band's debut album. Like I said, they were just formed in 2021, but like I said, they're no strangers to performing. Obviously, being in probably a good 30, 40 bands between the members, pretty crazy. It was 11 songs, 57 minutes, 44 seconds. So I would say the vocals are up there with, I mean, John, Olivia, Matthew Sweet, those kind of guys. Definitely has the range of those guys. It carries, I put it that way. So the drumming on this kind of stuck out to me though, which is kind of odd for me because I usually don't focus too much on the drums. I'm more of a guitar guy, but I do listen to things and just kind of listen to it openly, so just to see what sticks out. And the drumming really stuck out on this one. I believe the sound leans more toward power metal to me than it does just classic heavy metal.
Okay.
So it's definitely that Sabotage, Striper type sound. Maybe even more it's right. Instrumentals, and instruments. So with that part of it. So I did like the placement of the songs though. So they had like the slower songs were placed, perfectly in between all the heavier paced songs. I did like that. So I'm gonna give this one 3.5 horns as well. I definitely think you should check it out. And let me know what you think.
All right.
So that's definitely. I definitely thought it was more power metal than it was heavy metal.
Okay. Yeah, I'll check it out. Well, the funny thing is that on Encyclopedia Metallum, that band Elm Street, they're listed as just a straightforward heavy metal band, and to me, they're an absolute they're a thrash band. So
Oh yeah.
I think they're kind of. Don't get me wrong. I don't necessarily mind a heavy metal band just being called a heavy metal band because I mean we talk about the subgenres all the time, but there's nothing wrong with being just labeled a metal band. There's nothing wrong with it, but if you want to get technical, I would say Elm Street is a thrash band.
I mean, there's aspects that you could say, well, they're heavy / thrash.
Mm-hmm. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. All right, my album review. Like I say, I'm still in the middle. Still in the middle of the new Elm Street, so I know you're listening to it. I'm listening to it, so I'm like 4 songs in. It's only like 8 songs, but it's like 51 minutes or something like. Because the first track is like almost 11 minutes long anyway.
Yeah.
So I kind of skews the curve a little bit. But the album I did do my formal review on was the debut self-titled album from Kill the King. They are a thrash metal band formed in Pune, India. I don't know. It's Pune. I don't know if it's Poon or I hope it's not Poon. Poon or Pune or Pune. I don't know. They were formed in Pune, India in 2016. Like I say, this is their debut LP. They are a quintet consisting of Rahul Singh on drums, Aditya Swaminathan on guitar, Rasheen Darap on guitar, Pritam Goswami Adhikari on vocals, and Saurabh Lodha on bass. The album itself is 9 tracks, 45 minutes and 25 seconds. The first track is a 58-second instrumental that they could have completely shit canned and threw in the garbage. Not that it was bad, it just didn't need to be there. There is another instrumental, track number 6. It's 2 minutes and 46 seconds. It's called No Country for Women. I don't know if
Okay.
yeah, I don't know about all that. I know that India is kind of more of a little bit of a patriarchal society. So I don't know if that's kind of like a cultural thing that they went with the title of that song. So, but This one is, I mean, there's really no way to really other describe this, and it's just, man, it's just a fucking straightforward, fast pace, knockdown, drag out thrash metal album. I mean, it's just really good. If you want to do like a for fans of kind of thing, I would throw it in there with like Creator and Havoc and bands like that. Uh, let's see, what's the name of the singer again? Pritam Goswami Adhikari. He's got he doesn't have a he doesn't have a clean vocal style. It's a little more raspy, aggressive, but it's not anything guttural or anything like that. So it's probably there's a I'd say there's a little bit of Mille Petrosa thrown in there. Maybe some later in their career, Brian Ferris, Shadows Fall, when he got away from the gutturals and they went a little more melodic and later in their career. So, but I mean, the guitar work is fantastic. The drumming is phenomenal. So shout out to the Indian and Pakistani metal scene, because if you remember a few weeks ago, I did an album review from, let's see, at the beginning of October. So approximately a month ago, I did a review on Thrash for Justice, the album by Tabahi. They're from Pakistan. Same thing. So, the Indian and Pakistani metal scene seems to be pretty much thrash dominated, and I'm here for it. I mean, the albums are very well done. The Tabahi album was good, and this Kill the King is better than that. Because
Oh
one
wow.
of the things that threw me off a little bit about the Tabahi album was kind of like the way it was recorded. The production on this Kill the King album is top notch. It sounds great. The songs are composed very, very well. I don't know how long these guys have been playing music in general. I know the band's been together since 2016, but I don't know how long these guys have been playing music, individually. But man, these guys play well together. The songs are really put together well. Like I say, you throw out that you throw out that initial instrumental, but I mean, the songs are the songs are dynamite. They really are. I'm going to give this one 4 horns out of 5.
Yeah, I almost going to listen to that one too because I added that advocacy to the playlist. So
Yeah,
I was like, this is so Chris picked a good one.
yeah, that's a good one. I recommend it. I really do. I'm going to try to check out that great. I'm actually going to try to. What I've been trying to do lately is like whatever like you review, I try to check it out that way.
Yeah,
But yeah, so I'm gonna try to listen to yours, like the Graven Sin, especially. I'll listen to that, and I'm gonna try to finish up the new Elm Street. Excuse me, the new Elm Street, and kind of see where we go from there.
that's good. So I think I started writing up a review on it somewhere, and then
The
it's
Elm Street.
yeah. 'Cause I was going to do it last week and throw it up on the page because we didn't have a show, and then
Yeah.
I got to do another shit. So
Well, if you ultimately do a write up on it, I'll kind of like do like you know, kind of like a I don't know what you want to call it. Not necessarily a rebuttal, because I have a feeling we're gonna feel the exact same way about the album. I'll just kind of do like a kind of like a
like,
I don't know.
yeah,
Yeah, exactly. I'll be like, yeah, what he said.
ditto.
Yeah, ditto.
Oh, man. What's on that list for next week? Is it hefty?
Yeah, it's. I mean,
This week's a little hefty.
it's not a short list. It's not as long as this past week's, but I mean it's decent. So over at Heavy Music HQ for this coming Friday, November 10th, leading off, we have Acid Throne with Kingdom's Death. We have Aglo with Build Fear. We have Autark with Emergent, Bazooka Troopas with Bombs, Babes, and Bazookas. I mean, what else do you need? Bleed From Within with Shrine Deluxe Edition. Calling Hours with Say Loose. The Color of Rain with Oceans Above. Concrete Caveman with Feral. We have Dagtu with Revered Decadence. Death Magic with Demo, MMXXII. That's 2023 in Roman numerals. That's an EP. We have D Orbit with Retro Gradient. We have Dirty Mitts with Hands Off. That's an EP. We have Disona with Dreadfully Distinct. That's an EP. Dream Wheel with Redeemer. That's an EP. We have We have Divergilio Morse and Jennings with Sophomore, Empire of Disease with Shadows in the Abyss, Escalpo with Unis, X Everything with Slow Change Will Pull Us Apart, Fallen Utopia with Ruin, The Fixer with Your Lie, Gamma Bomb with Bats, Hard Excess with The Nation's Dust, Hence Confetti with a self-titled album, Hinayana with Shatter and Fall, Holy Wars with Cult Classic, that's an EP, Horse Whip with Consume and Burn, Our House, Hour House, with Gold Tooth Guru, Hugo's Voyage with Inception. We have Hypathrol with a self-titled album, Ignescent with Fight in Me, Incendiary Device with a self-titled album, Jackknife Power Bombs with Morse Certa, Vita Incerta, Left Cross with Upon Desecrated Altars, Left Eye Perspective with Conundrum, Locket with Superluminal, Lower 13 with Deception, that's an EP, LS Dunes with Lost Songs, Lines, and Shapes. We have Loon with The Change Around Us and The Change in You, that's an EP. Lots of EPs this week.
Well, it was nice again.
Yeah. Master Plan with a self-titled re-release. We have Mephorash with Crystal A, Meshuggah with Chaos Sphere 25th Anniversary Edition, Metal Life Crisis with Theater of Fire, Michael Catton with Point of No Return, The Mosaic Window with Plight of Acceptance, Mouth Breather with Self-Tape, MT Void with Matters Not Part 1, Night Crowned with Tales, Night Hag Burial with Utterances from Below, that's a split album. We have Nur NH with Unbroken, another EP, Odd Crew with Dark Matters Part 2, Passage with Oblique, Plague Mace with Reptilian Warlords, Plague Rider with Intensities, Prestige with Selling the Salvation, that's a re-release, Proud Outsiders with Anything to Offer, Receiver with Whispers of Love, Returning with Severance, Savor with From Ember and Rust, Scarlata Music with Rough and Tumble, that's an EP, Secret Sphere with Black and Heartbeat, Sherpa with Land of Corals, Shilmago Gnar, I don't know. Convergence, Silent Weapon with the Fear of the Possibility of Chaos, that's an EP. I'm sure the EP isn't as long as the name of the EP. Sleep in Motion with Existential, Sodom with 1982, another EP. Tarja with Dark Christmas, Jason talked about that earlier. Temple Balls with Avalanche, Triumph of Death with Resurrection of the Flesh, Vantage Point with Against Myself, Vastum with Inward to Gethsemane. We have Verileto with Kuoleman CPN Havina, Weightless World with Sleepwalker, and Welcome to Pleshawar with Apostasy. So, like I say, not quite as long of a list as the last couple weeks, and a hell of a lot of EPs on there. So, still plenty to choose from.
Maybe we can get a couple of EPs in.
Mm-hmm. May have to.
I'm almost upset that the Jackknife Powerbomb wasn't named the album with New World Order. So.
Yeah, kind of a missed opportunity there.
Yeah. So, that being said, I guess we will wrap this one up. And I just want to thank everybody in the chat, Octavio, Dana, Krista,
and Amy. before her Facebook started acting up on her.
She buffered out.
Yeah, she did. That shit'll buff out. So
appreciate the spam. At least you guys listen over there. So.
Hey, yep. Hey, it still counts as no number. So
it counts. That's right.
It all counts.
So anyway,
which is weird, but it does. So
hey, whatever. Hey, you listen for so long, it counts. So.
Mm-hmm. But yep, before we go, want to remind everybody, like I say, the next 2 Saturdays are is what we'll be doing. Next Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Time, we have Eradicated coming on, and then November 18th. Not exactly sure. We're gonna have to work out kind of like when we'll actually be on, because we won't be on in the morning. We will be streaming live from Dana's birthday bash. Don't know if it's going to be like the whole thing like we did at the Slammin' in the Stick. So we'll kind of figure out how we're going to do it. But it will be a live stream on Saturday night on the 18th. So we'll work out some of the details. We'll fill you guys in between now and then. But so not the next 2 Fridays, the next 2 Saturdays for the Metalheads Unite podcast. One morning and one evening. So we'll fill you guys in as as details become available.
We know.
Yeah. But, as always, check out metalheadsuniteusa.com for all your merch. Jason did add a toboggan. So the winter hat, the toque, as they call it in Canada, is available now.
And the I think the hoodies were already on there.
The hoodies were already on there. Yep. So we do have some winter clothes on there now. metalheadsuniteusa@gmail.com is our email address. And then we've got our 24/7 live radio station at stream.trulyradio247.com/8006/stream. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Rumble, on X if you feel like not getting any news from us there, because we don't do anything on X. Our Facebook group. That's what you're looking for. That's how you'll find us on Facebook and our YouTube channel and on Twitch.
Cool.
Follow us on Spotify too for all your playlists.
YouTube and Rumble, and follow us all the places.
Follow us everywhere. Stalk us. We don't care. We don't care.
You can also follow Truly Radio 247, however you want. Over at Twitch, she does most of her posting there as well. So,
yep,
follow her there, and she has all the info to all of the stations involved with her group there. So.
Yeah, and she's got a link tree too, but I'm not 100% sure what the whole thing is. So I know she has one, but
we do too, evidently. Even though, like, when I went to do it, it said that something didn't process, but they're sending me emails all the time to check out my progress.
No,
okay. I thought you said it didn't go through.
Interesting. So we may have a link tree too at some point. So,
I don't know. Link tree is it's one of those things where I think it's kind of useless in a way.
Yeah.
Everything's in one spot, so I don't know. It's definitely kind of a weird.
I mean, if it ever gets to the point where it actually works the way it's supposed to, we'll let you guys know. So,
same with this show, but
that's true. This show's always going to be a work in progress, basically.
Yeah, right.
Unless we come into like a bunch of money and can like get everything set up to top of the line gear and everything and stuff like that. So I kind of think that's part of the charm of the show at this point,
I mean, you don't have to have top of the line. That's one thing that I've always said. You don't have to have top of the line products to put out a product.
You don't have to. No, you don't have to. But
and it's getting to the end of the year, so we got to start discussing on maybe some change ups for the first year too. So
yes, we do.
I don't like to go stale. So
no, we do not.
I got cracker, stale cracker.
Well, we're crackers already. We just don't want to go stale. So
that's going to be my band name if I have one.
Stale cracker. I like it, actually. I do. I like it.
What? My first album will be "Don't Put Me on a Ritz."
I like it.
Or "Don't Call Me Ritz."
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Ritz. Anyway,
amen.
Get the lyrics here, but so we'll end this one up for tonight, and hopefully we will see you back next Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time.
That's right.
Hopefully we will have eradicated on finally. As long as no more unforeseen circumstances happen, we should be good. So,
that's right.
He also gave me another date too, so if something does happen, we got another date to work with as well. So,
well, he did say the 25th, and I do believe that's Thanksgiving weekend, so that might be a little tough. So,
yeah,
but
we'll see. They probably don't celebrate.
I don't think they do. So if it comes down to it, and next week doesn't go off, we may have to just bump it into December. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll figure it out. So.
Yeah, one way or the other, we'll get it.
Like I said, follow us on all those all the socials there if you want to catch up with what's actually going on with that interview. So stay on top of it. But anyway,
that's right.
Until next time, keep those horns held high. Jump in that pit anytime you can.
Have a great week, guys. Thank you very much.